Give it a moment because my internet just full cut out for a moment there.
Yeah, I just saw the stream go down.
It should reconnect now. Fun. That's the third time that's happened today. So apologies if anyone if that happens again this stream. Apparently, I need to do some investigation into my internet service provider. But yes, sorry. Are you going to be spending a superiority die?
Yep, spent it. Got a
Cool.
9, so 21 total.
Nice. Okay. So you, after a couple of hours of hard labor, and in fact, a number of individuals come from like one of the local soup kitchen areas with like trays of hot beverages. Like it's like a coffee or tea just for the workers and that kind of thing. But you managed to shift quite a lot of rubble, and like you're starting to get into areas of people what were houses crushed by the thing, and you're starting to make a bit of a gap. But this is going to be weeks and weeks of work in terms of everything, but in terms of clearing the entire tower. But you're certainly making some headway in the little section that you're in.
In that case, Zep would probably realize that this is going to take weeks and weeks fairly early on. So he's going to focus primarily on like longer term projects, things that could be used when he's not there.
Okay.
He is also aware that we have other missions to do.
The cranes and things will go a long way into doing that as well. But yeah, you can start setting up some like more rescue infrastructure in that regard. Yeah, totally. But okay. Let's snap back to the group that are in the alleyway. Unless you've progressed somewhere else in this time. Well,
you said we were jumping to them in the future, so I imagine any travel time would have been towards the rubble to get to the other side. As
knowing that Zep is moving to clear the rubble and we're looking to go to the other side, presumably we would want meeting up with them would be the smartest idea because they're making the most progress in finding a way over.
Sure. Okay, so about halfway through that SNR situation, the rest of the group do meet up with you, Darius and Zep.
And we will we'll fill them in on everything, just for that simplicity's sake.
Okay.
So that is where the situation stands for us at the moment.
I'm glad that rescue efforts are taking a hold in other ways, especially with the healthcare, by the sound of things. But the disease is concerning, of course. One of the worst things that an army in the field can have, or a city that is devastated, is disease.
Is that something that you could help with, James, with alchemy and stuff?
Well, it depends on the type of disease. We'd have to go investigate a little bit more. I can't just go off of a whim or just simple symptoms.
What is most common in this kind of situation? What kind of diseases should we be looking out for?
Dysentery.
That was mostly a question to Zep, and maybe Darius as well, because they'll have experience in sacked cities.
Dysentery, scurvy, those are the main ones affecting us.
Not something you can just cure with magic reliably.
No. It is more about the infrastructure and making sure that things are kept at least somewhat hygienic.
Yes, cleanliness is probably the forefront of things. Clean up, unfortunately.
Okay.
Shall we go deal with these rioters and looters, and then we can investigate further what other type of engineering elements we could impart to get this disease under control?
Additionally, if we go deal with these riders, can we avoid trying to kill anybody?
I agree. They could be a valuable source of manpower to help out with clearing rubble and if we can just get
And
them.
not just that, but many of them are probably victims of circumstances more than they are actual criminals.
Say all to a certain extent. Yes, I would agree with that.
There might be some
I would
individuals.
say all criminals are victims of circumstance.
Not all, but perhaps we should let the justice system decide that one. Although probably not those red gauntlet or the red chalice people, the flaming chalice, whatever.
Purifying flames.
Them.
Depending
yeah,
on
not
how
them.
organized all this is, there might be some individuals who are orchestrating this, and these are the individuals that are important for us to really nail down in this situation. If this is just convenience and survival, then we can show them a better way. If it is something where this is being organized into something by seedier elements, as can happen in a disaster situation like this, and these are the individuals that we need to properly take care of.
Or if the head of the snake is convinced to join a different path, that's a lot of snake body that will follow it on the path. You know where I'm going with this. I'm bad at this, but let's just try and get these people back on the path of righteousness and order and stuff.
How very
I'm new to this. I'm new to this.
I'm gonna-
You'll get there. You'll get there.
See what we're dealing with first.
It's a process.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder. I'm gonna look at him and just be like, just remember that not all are redeemable, my friend. But always make the effort.
Speaking of Zep, one of the biggest issues they're having, obviously with getting this debris out of the way, is it possible that we could set up a construction of something to get over the wall, an easier way for them to just get around it rather than trying to clear through it? Would that be faster? I mean, if this rubble is more or less intact, it could be risky, but if we could get a support structure on portions of the wall so people could just get over it, say makeshift stairs.
Yeah, over the spire, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, a bridge of some sort would be an easy enough construction to make, I think.
At the very least, it
Also-
would give people a much faster way out of this section, which means they could get back to the aid that they need.
I would say that this could be something of a priority. And yeah, this is doable. And I agree with you. Those who are caught on the other side, who are in the grip of the gangs and things, they could be valuable manpower that are better used here rather than towards crime.
Let's go convince them of that.
Okay.
I feel that how do I say this? My abilities would be best used in the reclamation effort, not going to hunt people. I would rather be the one building the bridge. That is where my skills here are best used.
If that is what you would prefer, Zep.
In this it is. There's how it is good for the soul, as I believe it is said before.
How is it good for me?
We'll have Braun with us, don't worry. We'll take good care of him.
Okay, stay safe over there. I will be keeping a weather eye to the rest of the city.
I don't suppose you have any way that you can give contact to us in case word comes to you. Zeb doesn't have an extra sending stone, does he?
Soul has
have
sending, right?
Soul has sending.
Soul has sending. Well, I mean,
we have
if people got
snapstones, too. for
people got
really
word to
many.
Zep, he could get word to us.
That's true.
Because we're going to be sort of away from the main efforts right now.
Someone
You're
has a
telling me is I need to take
snapstone.
Rory's telepathic bond.
Yeah,
Well,
Darius has a snapstone.
Yeah.
If it's really important.
Is Darius not going to come with us?
No, I think the big.
You
No, I'll
should
go
go with
with-
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I can't take that spell because it's wizard only.
Your powers of persuasion will be useful there, Darius.
Yes. We had.
How is it that we're getting this tower that's fallen? Is it just like impenetrable wall of debris and
Yeah. Imagine a tower so big has fallen on part of the city enough that there is now an unstable central wall splitting off a corner of the city.
Is the tower just like completely crumbled? Like it's no longer holding any of its structure, or is it like if we were to go up to the tower, like we could get into ruined rooms that are on its side? Like how destroyed did
In
the tower
certain
get?
places, you can see, like, you'll look to the left and you'll see, oh, that was clearly a floor over there because some of it's in tatters, but it's like a lot of it shattered on impact. Like, imagine a plane. Like, you've seen, like, what, a plane on impact? Like, any of those, like...
Crumple.
They just crumple, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the rooms were meant to hold a vertical rigidity, not a horizontal. So they probably all
Or
collapsed
not,
in.
and also not be meant to be slapped into the earth, you know.
With how tall this tower was, like we're also talking like some of this tower fell 500-600 feet, evidently, and that's a collapse.
Also could have been like held together with a little bit of magic, like magic mortar. I feel like that might be a thing with real tall towers. I don't know.
That sounds like something that's going to shoot something versus hold it together.
Zed wants to make a magic mortar. That's...
Yeah, that's
Oh
like
God,
that's
right,
like a magic missile.
now.
We got magic mortar.
Make both. Make magic mortar something that is trademarked by the Skyspan Industries.
Yes.
We have our magic mortars and our magic mortar. And they're held together with magic mortar.
Is this any relation to cosmic concrete?
That's like
Legally distinct.
Cosmic concrete. Is that brown? with little
That's like
sparkle?
that's cosmic concrete is like the Costco version.
Cosmic concrete. Just,
Costco
just
cosmic
think of those
concrete.
cosmic brownies, so they just got little M&Ms in them.
Just a little aggregate to help. Yeah, that'll be good.
So would it be faster to tunnel through the spire or bridge?
Perhaps the problem is like the a lot of the problem people are having is that anything that needs to be taken needs to be like, to get things from A to B, it is like, okay, we've got a sack of grain, but now I need to carry this sack of grain up a 4-story climb up with pitons, kind of level climbing and ladders, and then do the same on the other side, and it just, nothing can happen fast. So it's like,
you mentioned that this is a specific part of the wall. I'm assuming we're in the narrow section, because I imagine once the tower fell, assuming it broke to pieces, the wall section got wider and wider. How wide of a distance are we talking about here? Is it like a solid like 20-30 feet of debris, or?
it's probably like, well, once you're on the top, it's probably like, at its like peak, probably like the peak flat is probably 60 feet.
60 feet, that's pretty far, yeah.
Like 60 feet that we'd have to tunnel, essentially.
Yeah, it'd have to, well, no, that's at the top peak. That's like the
Yeah,
flat.
yeah. If we
So
were
if
clearing
you,
off the top,
so,
across
yeah.
the top at
If
a
you-
thinner section, right?
I mean, if you were walking across the top, it would be 60 feet. If you were further down, possibly be more. Like, it's essentially like 3 streets
Mm-hmm.
that this is like crushed and then cut off like a whole district of the city.
So
Because
we
it
just
didn't,
gotta
it
try and
also,
climb this?
it wasn't a clean one way. Like, majority went one way, some went a different direction. So it's actually like totally cordoned off a city. It's like it's turned into like it broke into like a scissor shape. Not to mention various bits that didn't fall with the regular bat, like that were broke off mid-fall rather than once it hit the ground. So it's like there's scatters of damage everywhere. Not to mention the rest of the city being attacked as well. This is just the worst thing.
Well, there's not any easy way through. I suppose we could just try and find a natural path to the other side. Would this even be something where it might be easier to just ladder up to the exterior walls of the city and rappel down from there? Just to get in?
I'm something of a navigator through cities. I don't know if you are all as nimble as me, but I can try to find the easiest way in and we can figure out how to get out afterwards. There might be supplies inside.
I'm getting total like Escape from New York, Escape from LA vibes.
I was thinking more Aladdin or Prince of Persia, but yeah. Okay.
What's the airship doing right now? Is it doing anything specific?
No, it's just in the air.
Yeah, it's
Because it
circling.
has a skeleton crew.
That would probably be the easiest way for us to get into the outside and back too, because I mean they could just lower ropes down from it.
Yeah, I think I'd be in favor of that. The amount of time it would take to call the airship down that we can get on and get across is probably less than trying to climb our way over Rubble Mountain.
I mean, I can climb over and then find like a landing spot.
I mean, I could just fly up there and tell you all.
Probably try.
You can
and save
fly?
our spells.
Yes, we went over this. You asked me if I was a bat, and I fluttered up. into the
Oh,
air.
right. Yes.
Sorry, Val. Yeah.
Just say we should probably try and save resources. If we can do something for free, we should.
It's sort of for free.
How free is sort of?
I make it myself.
Can you carry all of us?
I don't know if I have the same strength as Sir Breton here, but I might be able to manage a few.
So, hey Zeb, can you call the airship?
Marcus, we have a delivery to make.
Because it's all well and good you being able to fly over, or maybe Braun being able to spider climb his way over, or Zaraging over, but I don't. No offense, Breton, you're kind of huge. I don't think this is your favored terrain.
To be fair, I am very experienced in climbing.
Yeah, no, that's actually he comes from mountains.
Mountains are usually solid. This is like this. I'm feeling like this. Like as soon as you start climbing up it, you'll just like get sucked in. Or it'll like roll.
It is
down
a little.
It's like a
roll
scree field.
down the hill.
It's
Yeah.
the
It might be a
field,
little more
it's
riskier
navigating
than
the
your
scree field.
average free climb, but I've done some free climbing in my days.
You know, I'm
I don't
something
wanna
of a
climb.
badass myself.
That's all you had to say, okay? You just gotta be communication, guys. Communication. You just gotta be honest.
That's totally fine. We should use the simplest and most direct method.
Climbing? Water?
I'm not scared of climbing. It's gonna be way faster to use the airship.
It's just you can't do heights, can't do water, you can't do climbing.
Heights I'm fine with. It's the sudden stop at the end. If
So
the
it's
heights
just like
no
you have to be
longer.
on ground level, a level plane, and that's where you're most comfortable.
Do you suffer from claustrophobia by chance?
No.
He was raised
do you feel
underground,
about
so that would be a bit
clowns?
surprising.
Why he left underground? I don't know. Been an
If
influence.
anything, it's the opposite. I mean, I'm not.
No,
but
open spaces.
I have a question about using the airship. If people are as desperate and looting as we think, do we think we're going to come back and our airship's going to be on cinder blocks? Like, aren't they going to loot the airship?
Which is why I didn't suggest us landing. I suggested us either rappelling down or using any one of the methods we have to just descend safely, like we've done before.
The ship would
the
not
thought
stay.
process of cinder blocks for the airship. What would require that?
We come back, the balloon is gone.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah,
just
the
like-
airship is
balloon's
now
gone,
like
it's
being
on
balanced
shipyard.
between the arches of two houses. The balloon is gone. It's like
It just looks like one of those ships in a bottle.
all the copper wiring is gone.
Yeah.
like copper tubing that you use to talk to each other around the decks. Yeah, that's
Muffler's gone.
There's a lot of that, dude. This ship's a gold mine.
Wood is pretty good, you know, all them planks.
We have a lot of like nice fittings on all the doors and locks and handles and everything. Like it's
To be fair, we also did just have it painted.
yeah.
It's stealthy. They won't even know we're
So-
coming.
The ship picks you guys up
blob.
outside where they dropped off the crew. So just outside that original camp that you came through. Are you wanting to take any supplies over for anyone?
We should bring food and airdrop it.
The ship
Where
doesn't
would we
have
get the
a-
food from?
We don't have a huge store, and what we have is already kind of being counted amongst what we need to spread out. Also, if we're going down there to have these conversations, sure, but keep in mind, this is an element of individuals who are, at most, trying to take it to survive, and at worst, taking it because it provides a scarcity, so...
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to control who got it and what... Like, people can hoard it if we just dropped it. So if anything, we'd want to have a distribution point with guards. But that's for another time.
Yeah, the distribution point is on this side of the spire. If we can make a crossing, then those who wish to contribute, come here.
Okay. So you begin to how are you proposing to not land? Are you using ropes or are you feather falling? What's the
I think we have access to a feather fall, but if we want to, we could just tie a couple of ropes together and literally just, like, rappel down.
Rope ladder kind of thing.
Yeah.
Zep has
Featherfalls are for
Featherfall.
emergencies.
Zep has Featherfall. Like, he can be with you on the ship, Featherfall you down, and then he'll head back to the construction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because he's going to use the ship as well to get a vantage point of where he should start constructing the bridge and or tunnel.
Brighton's just going to make a mental note of where Zep's primary section of construction is, so we know where to go to on the other side to scream at Zep, "Call the ship!"
Okay, so you want to do that first?
Emergency.
Yeah, that's just something Breton is doing. I'm assuming, like, with how much he's building and clearing out, it should be pretty obvious from the air what section the wall
Zep
is.
wanted to scout for a new place to build, like the best place to build a bridge or tunnel.
In the
So,
slowest area, kind of thing.
okay, Zep.
Does this city have sewers?
Yes, some.
Maybe that's something we can scout out as well. To not afterwards, we've already sold on this plan, but maybe like evacuating people out through the sewers.
Oh wait, does it?
May-
No, it doesn't.
Might-
Sorry, it doesn't have a sewer system.
Oh, what a fucking deserves the dysentery then.
Oh yeah, no wonder
That's
about
the
dysentery.
disease.
That bad air, just they got nowhere to go. All that miasma.
I suppose all the poop will freeze underground.
So, Zep, give me an at advantage perception check as you use the sky ship's I was about to say camera, that's wrong. Spotting scope to look at the rubble.
Yes.
I remember when we were in Retbury, guys, and it was also like a war. It's like we seem to find ourselves in these situations quite often.
14.
It's almost like it's running rampant. across the
Recurring
land.
theme of
We chose
being in
to
this
come here.
situation.
We're here to help.
It's really hard to
Don't
see
resist.
a good location directly. You do notice that one of the areas towards the wall, it's quite high on the side that you were working on, as a large chunk of tower landed there, but on the further side it ramps down a lot more. Like the rubble seems to look like it's sloped rather than a sheer cliff where it's like just absolutely pebble scatter. But it's kind of hard to judge scale. Other than that, actually, when you look more towards the center of town and actually along where the cathedral itself is and where the tower is like crumpled in of some of the temples and stuff off of that, and but because of where it hasn't fallen as far, it's more intact. So
I think I would prefer to be closer to the cathedral, as it would be just generally less distance to travel to get to the secure locations.
the breakage is like almost like, so there's the central cathedral there is, which is still mostly ish intact, and then like almost two Christmas tree patterns. So it's like thick, slightly thinner, but more unstable the further you get.
Yeah, I'll go to the thick area, I think. And, yeah.
Okay, so you're heading more towards the center of town. Got it. Someone
With the
else...
intention of using, like, the rooms that are still there to tunnel through those.
As for the party that are going the... who are making this landing, what kind of area are you looking for to hit as an area? What are you looking for? Something specific in the town, or are you just dropping off and then going to go explore?
I mean, we're gonna have to search a lot of it. Do we want to sit down and just like what, like the most prominent town square, or
is there any signs of life? Like
yeah, I was thinking let's get near
people and shit.
Give me a perception check, some of you. Anyone who would like to. One of you can take the advantage of the spotting scope.
That'd be 23.
Do they appear to be organizing themselves? Like, should we maybe see if on this side there seems to be some sort of like organization, even if it's not as formal as what's happening outside, but you know, you might see like groups of people.
Good job, James.
Anyone who got above a 20, you notice there is far less organized activity. Where before on the closer side, you can see various groups slowly, you know, you see carts, you see all that kind of thing. Where the damage, this area is like heavily affected by damage, but what you do notice is like little pockets where there looks to be like cook fires every now and then, or like a singular tent up against the remains of a building, but there doesn't seem to be anything centralized around here. And then like a lot of the spaces that remain open seem to be very, very empty.
full survival mentality. Yeah. People are trying to hide, people are trying to avoid others, trying to focus on what they themselves can get. Well, we could go down towards where we've seen the people and ask them what they know. That might be the easiest path to getting to where we're going.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I suppose we'll pick out an area where it seemed like the most densely... we can pick out the most dense signs of current habitation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start there.
Okay. You see like a group of sort of like, I wouldn't say like a tent town, but it's like 5 or 6 like half tents, half buildings like nestled together with a like more central fire.
Mm-hmm.
Which you could probably set down relatively near, especially if you're feather falling.
Sure.
Okay.
Then I believe that's where we'll pick.
Okay. So it is, just to remind me who's going, it's Siraj, Valmir. It's basically everyone but Zep, and Braun is going with the main party. So Zep, if you want to be Braun for now, you can,
oh, all right then.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, you will. The side door that you sometimes use for landings, it opens and you almost springboard off of the door, and
I swan dive.
Feather. You swan dive and it's like you go like normal momentum and they just
like
as you
belly flopping into a pool.
No, it's more like trying to belly flop into a pool, but then being caught by like marshmallow air because
Is
it's
it
feather
like
fall.
Paper
So
Mario?
Well, Zep probably gives.
It's like swimming through it's like swimming through molasses.
No, it's still 60 feet around, so you're falling fairly fast. It's more like it's like it's like when you start to fall, but you just never get any faster.
Yeah.
It's like you dive out and you're sprinting at the ground.
Well, the way that this spell would manifest for Zep is he would have you all stand on a platform, and then he would drop the platform out, and the jet platform has a jet underneath it that will slow the descent.
Then I do not swan dive off of that platform.
That would not be a good idea. No.
I also think we have to do it twice because I think Featherfall's only up to 5 people.
I have already accounted for this. There are 2.
Okay, just okay. Double checking that.
I could have just made my way down.
No, okay. Then there is one
we don't-
platform.
Yeah, we don't need to use the extra resources.
We have 7 people.
I'm just.
There needs to be a second
Just Breton
There has to be,
micromanaging.
there has to be like,
Just Braun. Bonk, bonk, donk, 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 as he hits the rubble on his way down.
Braun. No, Zep's going to hand Zaraj a set of boots which have jets on them. So you've got my boots of flying, whatever they're called.
She's already got the boost of levitation. She just hold on to somebody's
Oh,
hand.
she does?
I don't have
that
the
goes
boost of levitation. I gave those back.
No, but then you got the back again.
Oh.
Somebody's got the boots of
I
levitation.
didn't-
all right, so we use one Featherfall and we go down.
All right, you guys get down.
Yeah.
Funny that you get down.
For me for keeping us honest, right?
Yeah.
God.
And like to echo what Breton said, it is far more barren in terms of life forms here. Even though there's that little cook fire going, well, slightly bigger than a cook fire, it seems to be brushing up and heating some of this tent-like structure, which is like the material is like looks to be like old bed linen sewn together, etc. Like not true tents. They're just flapping in the wind, and you see like ice crystals forming over them in certain locations. This area is far quieter.
Do we see any people at all?
Not directly, not right now.
Can I kind of like look for, if I was a survivor in this instance, like where like I would like to go, like in terms of like shelter, or if there's any type like resources that like I might find, like, you know, food or something, if there was some sort of like little market or place where, like, you know, obviously I'm not from the city, so I don't know where these things are, but just kind of like
Give me a
that
survival check.
Can I have advantage because it's my favorite terrain?
I think you do get it.
There's only so many we can get. Come
I
on. Just gotta get
will
it.
go for it, but it's a slightly higher DC because your favorite terrain has been obliterated.
That's a 20.
Okay.
Not nat.
You're looking around, and the area that you've landed in seems to be like mostly residential. And the thing that you notice quite quickly is that this area of town wasn't as well put together in the first place as the other parts. Like where a lot of the other regions had like a more like stone structure. A lot of the houses around here seem to have been stone structures on like the base layer of foundations, but also a lot of wood construction or like adobe. And there's also like a somewhat different architecture style. As you look over, you actually see like what would have been shop fronts that are completely crunched in, and the rooms look mostly ransacked. It's a lot of this place is people have been taking anything that they can find, and where it's gone, clearly somebody's got some settlement somewhere. There are like people hiding and living in certain places, this place that you landed near included, but where the people actually are right now, it's hard to say. They're probably hiding. Honestly, you kind of come to the conclusion of, as you move around through the rubble, you actually find things that are because of the ice and snow on the ground slightly, you can see, these footprints aren't that long gone. But the actual people that left them, no idea.
Should we call out to the people roam the streets and let them know that we are here to be friendly?
I'm starting to think that was just dropping down here. They scattered the second they saw something was coming.
I would scatter too, they're terrified.
And simply saying that we are the good guys does not make us the good guys.
Why don't we try to make a show of faith? Do we have any supplies that we can leave out for the people?
I have good berries. I can cast good berry. It's only 10 of them, but
Can
I
we
could
look
cast
around
it.
and see if we could find like a little bowl and we just leave a bowl of good berries?
I would say
It's
that
like-
you could find probably a slightly
Something.
chipped bowl in one of the what remains of the shops.
Okay, so now that we've planted what is clearly and obviously bait.
No, we're going to leave. We're going to just
right, but it
continue
looks
to
like
go
bait.
away.
It looks like I'm
You know,
saying it
so-
looks like bait.
So it'll
Oh,
be,
I-
so it's an
I
obvious
didn't wanna
trap. They
leave it.
can't see the people who
I
are gonna attack
wanted
them.
to walk around and be like, you know, good berry, home of the good berry. You hungry? It'll feed you for a
Take
day.
you
I got
away.
that reference.
Yeah.
damn it. Why?
That was a generation of '90s kids all snarking at once.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take you away?
They made 2 movies of
Does
that.
anyone-
Anyways,
Can anyone make their voice loud?
I can.
Thaumaturgy?
Yeah, I can.
I mean, I could yell, but
I can.
Can-
Thaumaturgy.
To be loud in general.
Could you let the people know that we are here and have brought food for them?
I will do so. I will shout with thaumaturgy, saying, "We're here to help. We're trying to help people, rescue, and all that."
The food,
Boy.
Valmir, the food. These people are
we have
starving.
food. We have, we have fucking food for you as well.
Tina, eat your dinner.
God damn it! You hungry or what? No. Yeah, we have
Oh,
we have
God.
food, supplies. Trying to help. If you want some food, we have food.
Roll a persuasion check, Valmir.
Is that
At disadvantage.
Ah, Dad.
You're very unsure of yourself.
We're here
I'm
to.
sure. I'm just, you know. What's that? Persuasion.
At disadvantage.
Just imagining a search and rescue.
20
helicopter with
goddamn 4.
Somebody with a megaphone, like just going like, "We're here to help," I guess. Just.
I've been told to say we're here to help.
After
We're here to help. Please do not resist.
the area around you goes a little bit quiet for a while, and you can just hear the whistle of the wind through the stones until suddenly you hear like a bottle rolling down some of the rubble, and then sort of behind you, 270 degrees like behind you, so like over your left shoulders, you kind of turn, and across to one of the destroyed buildings there is an individual who is like completely like cowl robed. You can just see like their sharp sort of eyes looking at you. They've got like a walking stick. It's grey. It's like over the shoulders. It goes all the way down, and it's like kind of Wainfrock kind of like stops at the knees, and then below it you see what look to be like a mix of chain and leather greaves and like hardy like hiking boots, and then you also see like under like the cowlingness just like subtle chain mail as well.
Berries, go talk to them.
They then call
Why?
out, "Oh. Who are you? What do you want?"
The Skyfire Adventuring Company. And we're literally just here to help you. We're
Are you hungry?
food.
There are many here who are hungry.
That's
Oh,
why we brought
Please,
food.
take one. It will feed you for the day.
If you take 2, you'll explode.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
The individual begins to clamber down some of the rubble. They come towards you. You also, now that they're maneuvering down, you see that like under the sort of shawled outfit that they've got, as they move, like the cloak element of it behind, you do see like a scimitar at their hip as well. It is sheathed, it's not out. And they come towards. Ah, these are good berries. Did you produce these?
I did.
Takes off the full face covering and really reveals his face. You see a completely bald man of Azdakian descent, with, you see like small, like 3 small scars, like even enough apart that they could be like almost like a claw mark, but they're like too uniform that it's clearly like a tool made this, and they're like slightly raised, almost like it's purposeful. This scar, they've got very narrow-ish like jawline features, and like the bottom of their they keep a little bit of facial hair, enough that it kind of comes out almost goatee like, but it's like a bit more pronounced than that. And they've got subtle graying in their beard as well. Probably late 40s, early 50s. He then looks to you. You are not from around here. It is good to see that people are beginning to send aid from the outside. Is the city to expect more?
We just came here on our own accord.
Well,
There are holy orders on the other side of the rubble who are trying to help that part of the city. We are going to try to get this cleared so that you can get over there.
it is it has been almost 2 months now. If they wanted to have cleared their way through, they would have.
They didn't have our friend Zep until today.
Would you say that this part of the town was perhaps not as opulent as the other part of the city?
This is the oldest part of the city. We are the original denizens of this land.
I have so many things to say about this, but I should probably refrain. What is your name?
I'm Sefka.
Sefka.
Sefkh. They do not like collaborating with our parts of the city as much. The City Watch are doing what they can, but a lot of the efforts have been politically motivated to focus on what they can control, and well, it's we send people to the other side of the rubble when we can, but it is hard to get major supplies throughout the city when all you have is manpower. They throw the air of helping. They provide us when the goods when we can get them, but they are always too busy to delegate any of their own to help the people trapped on this side.
Is there a place that you are mostly gathered? A place where I could make more food and we could help? My friend here is a trained healer. He can help those who are sick.
We also have a very good chef in our midst, too. That might be able to... yes, we have a chef in our midst. One that might be able to expand your supplies a little bit. Be more creative with the uses.
She can stretch the soup.
I have taken it upon myself to protect this small area of the town. There is 7 families in those structures there. They're currently hidden, as I have taught them to do. However, I'm going to be very annoyed that they left that fire running. There is probably 20 more families or so under my direct supervision. Rest of this part of town is a bit more wild.
That's another part of the reason that we're here. You mentioned that these people are under your protection. We've heard that there has been talks of banditry and other scrupulous acts, and we're here to try and convince these individuals that that is not in their best interest.
I have spoken to the captain many times and asked her for at least a detachment to help deal with some of the bandits. Honestly, we would not be having a bandit problem if we could get supplies more regularly, but needs must with people.
It's something that's being worked on now, yes.
We can be your detachment if you point us in the direction.
I would draw you a map. However, the roads aren't clear anymore. There is a butcher's. It's an abattoir that was on the far end of this quadrant. It is being used as a sort of distributory of food. I can take you there. There is a couple of individuals who have taken it upon themselves to disseminate food they get from the other side for trade or favors, etc. They are in control of a lot of the food supply. Take it out of their hands and put it into the right hands. We might do a little bit better here. I can't say I've heard of any sort of singular individuals outside of that who are organizing things, but I do not try to engage with those who are not willing to help their fellow man.
We'll see if
Yes.
we can't change their minds.
Well then, follow me.
2 months is a long time.
Yes.
Yes. That is when the, well, just shy of is when the first attack happened, I believe.
First attack. Was there more than one?
This ever since there has been issues where I don't know where the weight of it goes, but there have been individuals, infiltrators that have been captured or tried to cause more damage. That sort of thing. It's But the initial fighting went on for a couple of weeks, perhaps.
That suggests, and Breton is saying this more to the party than anyone else, that they haven't found what they came looking for.
Did the guard captain or whoever we spoke to on the other side not tell us this? Like, there's continued attacks?
Nope, they wouldn't tell us anything.
What the hell are they friggin' hiding? Kind of important. Hi, we're here to help. Oh yeah, by the way, we're under attack constantly.
Yeah, the guard captain didn't mention that.
We asked what was going on, and we were told, we don't trust you, we don't know you, go away.
Just out of character, that wasn't the guard captain, that was the guards at the cathedral. The guard captain's the one who's in charge of the watch.
Yes, we know. They also didn't mention that there had been infiltration issues. Like, we didn't know that there had been this issue until this person was telling us that.
Maybe it's only an issue on this side of the... But I doubt it.
Maybe that's why this section got cordoned off. To allow continued infiltrations at a higher success rate with less resistance.
Or what they're looking for is in this part of the town because it is the oldest part of the city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why they blocked it off. To make it harder for resistance. Because it does seem like this quadrant was isolated, right, by the Rubble? That's what it looks like?
Yeah, from the way that from the bird's eye view, yeah.
And rather than help people, they would just rather build a wall.
For the city to still be in this state after a few months makes me feel as though they are not trying hard enough.
The captain is trying her best. Her hands are very tight, though. She has not enough manpower, and she has no legal authority to requisition supplies, etc. She is working with donations and good charity alone. The orders, whilst not much better because of their political issues, also have the problem that the majority of their manpower is not in the city right now. It hasn't been since the outbreak of the war. This was a city of hundreds of thousands of people, and it is now a city of mere thousands. At best, it is... Everyone has their own tribulations, and those who do not necessarily fit with the normal status quo are, unfortunately, at the bottom of the list.
The more I linger in this city, the more I think that they need to be reminded to whom their organizations were meant to serve.
I don't believe we need to start an uprising.
I do not have the men to start an uprising, but this would be the opportune moment. He sort of chuckles.
This individual's name was, remind me again?
Sefka.
Sefka. I want to say Sela for some reason. Sefka. Okay. Sefka, you've lived here your entire life, I presume?
Yes, I was born slightly outside of the city. My father was a shepherd. I am of the land.
I presume then you know this section of the city extremely well.
Yes, I do indeed. It looks very different now to what it did.
The city itself, you said this was the oldest section of it, so presumably the oldest buildings are here, even the ones that are unfortunately no longer intact. Were there any notable buildings? Any buildings of significance still in this section of the city? I know the new cathedral and the tower were built elsewhere, but places of perhaps original worship.
Yes, there was the we. I am of a Western faith. I follow the teachings of the pantheon that exists here anywhere within the caliphate. One of the older temples of the caliphate resided in this part of the city.
You know, once we settle things here and get things in the proper operating order, I'd like to see if that place is still intact. But that can wait till afterwards.
Yes, well, we will actually be passing. It is sadly partially intact. It got crushed by a large part of the rubble, but a lot of the priesthood did not make it out, but it has been mostly. It's actually one of the only places around here that people are still free to go to without much harassment. And after about 5-10 minutes of walking over partially destroyed houses where like the roads then turn to blockage, it's like you're kind of having to meander rather than go through like just walking down streets. But you do see the remains of what seems to be a kind of sandstone looking temple. And it's more a temple in like the palace temple style of like ancient Egypt. But like, so it's got like pillars, etc., and carvings, but like an entire corner of it is just crumbled. And there's like essentially like one side is intact, one side is very much not. That's it there.
Does it look like there's anybody in it at the time?
You see like there's like 3 people who seem to be like lighting a candle beneath one of the pillars, but it doesn't look like active. In fact, it's like some of the main rooms and chambers to like what would have been temple actually seem to be mostly blocked by rubble or damage, etc. It's like people aren't going in. People are kind of using the front staircase as a place to like leave tokens of faith, or in fact you see a lot of like handwritten prayers like tied to some of the pillars that remain, and notes of like messages of like people trying to contact one another, like individuals like if you see us, we've now moved to this part of the city, etc. Like we are hiding at old Benjamin's house, kind of that kind of thing. Please be okay. That various messages. It's almost like it's become an informal sort of central building to this part of the town.
And this is all outside, right?
Yeah, it's mainly like the front steps. You don't have to like venture in to see this.
Ziraj, I want you to take a look at something for me. There's a lot of foot traffic around the outside of this building. A lot of people who have come to and fro leaving messages. Does it seem like anybody has been trying to get into the building?
I'm gonna try to look at the door, or any other like egresses that might have been made by like dilapidated rubble that might have knocked down a wall, or if there's any windows or anything like that.
Sure, give me an
Set.
investigation check.
Sure.
Can I help?
Sure, yeah.
So that's advantage.
That would be if I'm helping.
18.
18. It seems like there is. You go to some of the dilapidated door, like sort of. These doors are not. They don't have doors as in like open close them. They're more like archways. It's a very open passageway based temple, but one of them was completely caved in. But there's like somewhat new snow on top of some of the rocks, where you actually see a footprint up the snow, and it looks like someone's climbed over this into the body of the interior of the temple.
I'll climb in a couple of feet just to sort of see what does it look like on the inside. Would it be safe to bring the party, or do I think we're going to be like trapped by like a cave-in of, you know, the roof falling?
You scramble in, and the door was mostly blocked, but it actually seems this area of the temple was kind of intact. And in fact, you look to your right down a couple of corridors, and there's like a little flicker of a light. It wasn't noticeable from the outside, but
Pop my head out. Tell Breton, there are people in here. I see a candle or some sort of flame. It seems safe if you want to climb in.
I think we should take a moment to examine this place. There might be something significant here.
Really well.
Does
I
want to come with us?
I'm actually going to go leave an offering. I'll be outside.
I give him my 9 more good berries.
Thank you.
Don't give them all to one person. This is to share.
He nods and he goes.
So, presumably if the party steps inside, Breton is just going to say, obviously what he's been alluding to. If they're still trying to infiltrate the city, then presumably they didn't find what they came for in the attack. If this is the oldest section of the city and this is cordoned off, then obviously, as James pointed out, that could be for a reason. It is possible that one of the seals is in this section of the city.
Sol or Valmir, do we know like what deities are worshipped here? Like who this temple was originally built to in honor
Not
of?
really Soul's thing.
No.
It was mentioned that this was the Western priorities, and they have a different view of the king that never was, but he is still an aspect of their faith. It may have been something that was of lesser significance to them, but still of great significance in the legend of the king that never was. If my memory serves this correct, right, Mitch?
Yeah, it's there is with the Azdakian Caliphate. It's they have a pantheon that is a mix of their pre War of the Heaven gods, and a few individuals from the War of the Heavens that they see as more like greater heroes. It's kind of imagine like the Egyptian pantheon has been mixed with like then heroes from Hellenic Greece once Ptolemy turned up, but more like it's like ancient Egypt and then suddenly Jesus. Kind of it's like it's kind of the vibe here. It's kind of a mix of like they are very traditional in their old ways. They keep the core beliefs of like there is a specific god of this city, and then also there is, you know, the king that never was turns up. In fact, the king that never was is often referred to here as the sacred king.
So they have their own deities that they believe in as a culture, but then they also believe in the king that never was because he showed he was.
Oh, it's almost like one of those things of like there's the ancient theology and then there's the not so ancient theology where a mythological person showed up and did things, kind of thing. It's the
You couldn't deny it
the-
because you saw it with your own eyes, kind of thing.
in the same way of like, yeah, it's kind of like the idea of it's the mythology that is. I'm going to use Norse as the example. You have like the Woden Odin sort of, creationism, sort of the tree of life, all the stuff, and then you have the mythology of Vikings going to Canada kind of thing. It's like the mix of there's rumored history, but a lot of it is just myth, or it's like the more Beowulf thing, someone who has existed within a mythos like further down the line kind of idea.
I think that we should do a thorough investigation of this building. It might be worth our time if Zep is available to bring him back here and use that. See if he can't help us find something more in depthly.
I'm going to point to the direction where I saw that flickering light. Should I go scope this out, or should we go investigate it as a
The flickering light has gone.
Brick.
Now that you've got everyone in, you're talking to them, and you could look back, like it's been put out, or it's gone.
I know we're here. Best case scenario, these are just people seeking shelter and are hiding from us. Worst case scenario, this is a section where they are organizing search efforts and we can expect a resistance to the individuals who attack the city.
This is a scary place for an ambush.
We killed a devil a few weeks ago, but
That doesn't mean we should be complacent.
no, it also means that falling rocks can kill you just as well as anything else.
Exactly.
You should be careful.
Tread lightly.
I'm gonna elven cloak hood myself and try to just stealth in the direction of where the flickering flame was, kind of like keeping my ears open for any sounds of like people either walking away or packing up their stuff to kind of get out, because it's only been like 15-20 seconds.
Sure. Yeah. Make a perception check. Are you going stealthily?
Yes.
Would that trace still be up? Because that is an hour.
Yeah.
I think if you roll a luck check, let's see how soon you are towards the end of that. There was a lot of.
Oh, sorry.
Beth,
I did that
by the
at
way, your
advantage.
mic is activating as you're touching your keyboard.
19 or 16. 16.
Or 16.
19.
And then the stealth roll, that's if Pass Without a Trace is active, and then the
Okay, I would say you've got about 5 more minutes of Pass Without a Trace.
okay, then I have advantage. Excellent. Well, I'm glad I do. 18, so 28 with Pass Without a Trace.
Yeah, okay. As you maneuver down, it's clear that as you turn a couple of corners to where the light would have been from, there is like a candle that is like what's it called? It's been put out very quickly, and there's still smoke residue. It's on like a makeshift wooden desk, and it seems like there's a inkwell that's been knocked over and spilled ink on top of the desk, but it seems something has been grabbed off of the desk as well. It's also, you're now in parts of the temple where it's like slightly harder to see now. Every now and then there's like little gaps of light coming through where like there's broken ceiling, etc. But it's like, it's not the it's not. Those of you who don't have dark vision are going to start struggling if you're going further in.
So in this room, not including where I came, how many exits to this area are there? Like corridors or?
None.
Still in the room with you.
Says
Balls coming
Raj.
from inside the house.
There are none. There is As you look around this room, it looks... Because it's almost like this table has been set up in the doorway of what is now... It's like a L into where there's the table, and then to the right there's like the room that this is in the doorway of. There's no exits to that room. It is probably 20 foot square. There is what seems to be a altar or table in the center, with a number of jars surrounding it. There's like a there's like a smashed plant pot laying like one corner. There is like a large rug underneath the altar table that stretches out for like 4 center of the room, and it's like stone floor. There's a couple of like cupboards, and there is also like a couple of statues.
All right, I'll light the candle and call everyone in. Guys, the person's gone, but someone was here.
Can I touch the candle and see if I get anything off it? From the psychometry?
Grim psychometry?
Anything, yeah, if there's anything.
Can you drop it? I always have to remind myself of what the details you get from the grim psychometry of the candle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just as a precaution, Midge, because I think there were... So Breton is going to be into the hallway that leads into this back chamber sections of rooms. Breton is going to be standing at the end of the hallway, basically just make sure there's no other way out from any of this part of the temple.
Yeah.
And let's not all stand in fireball range, let's stagger.
I know it might not be one of those two, so I would try and get a touch of the rest of the room too as well. Since there is that altar and stuff.
Okay, we're gonna have to do this piece by piece then of what you're touching. Fine. So you don't get anything from the candle if you make that history check. Okay. But yeah, what would you like to look at, investigate? None of you have kind of really stepped into the room much.
The altar, I guess.
Okay.
And I won't touch any like the relics on the altar. I'll kind of just place my hand on a corner of the altar itself.
Give me a history check for your grim psychometry.
$26.
You get flashes of what looks to be a priesthood here, or preparing a body. Seems like the individual passed away not long beforehand, but they seem to be washing and bathing the body, and then ceremonially wrapping the corpse. And then one of the... Yeah, it's just the preparation of the body. Mm-hmm. Seems to be going on there.
Are they within this? Are there any religious symbols or iconography? Is it all just for this specific deity of the temple that we're in?
Yeah, you see like the individual on once the body has been wrapped, you see one of the priests. You're not really getting any sort of like full on like manifestations. You can't like instantly see someone's face, kind of like you could identify. It's more like a shape, and you imagine that they're priests, kind of thing. It's more like, instead of seeing the priest person, you're seeing almost like a dementor, but like that kind of like spectry of it. But you see them put like a golden square, like on like would look to be like a holy symbol of some sort. That is just a golden square on the like chest of this body, and that's the final thing before your psychometry fades.
I'll just look around at the rest of everybody else to see what they're doing.
What is the rest of everybody else doing? Breton's outside the room, kind of guarding the tunnel entrance this area, keeping an eye out.
You are sure that there was someone in here?
Well, I did not see a person. I saw the light flickering, and when I came in to investigate, the candle was still smoldering.
How big are the statues?
6 foot.
Braun will go over and with his end of his spear just tap each one.
Dum, 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 dum. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, dum, dum. One of them sounds kind of like not the same material.
There is something weird about this statue. It sounds different.
This one is kind of like towards where you think the foot of the altar would be, and it's like looking towards it. And you see an individual stood there, and they are like holding like a square above their head. It's like there's like a robed individual. Like the statue is of like a robed individual who is like, you see sort of kind of bare open, like strong muscular frame under like a robe feature, holding up a square.
Does it look like one of the squares that I saw in...
Could be. It's a square.
Can we investigate the statue and look for any like little buttons or latches or anything to
Sure.
open the statue? Or...
check.
Just so we're all aware, this was a ceremonial rites chamber. So pay your respects properly.
As I'm sitting here, like hands all over the statue, I got a 23.
You're like looking around the statue, and you get like towards like the underside of the arms, and there looks to be like a latch lever that the arms move.
I do it. I push it.
It doesn't. That would be getting your fingers stuck in the latch kind of thing. It's not. It's like that's just the point of movement. It looks more like that you grab the square and pull down, like a lever.
Is anyone tall enough to reach it?
Yes.
Ah, yes, brawn and pulling a machine.
I have trained my entire life for this.
Yeah.
Just
And the
spurt out of it.
the arms come down. You hear a thum thum. It's kind of muffled though. It's like you wouldn't have heard it outside of the room, but clearly under the floor something moved, and the altar kind of dips, and you see that below is like a it like goes into a shaft as if the body would like funnel down.
This is some Indiana Jones shit.
Oh, gives me shivers. Excitement. Shall we go?
Yes, Indiana Jones.
The
Tomb Raider.
yeah, a ranger that.
And
It's not the big deal.
whilst they explain who Indiana Jones is to the rest of the party, we're going to take our midpoint break as we open up into the undercroft of the temple. So join us in 5-10 minutes time. We'll be back soon. Well, it'll be 10 minutes exactly. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighbouring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, Why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions. A solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Grey Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's rattled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can beautifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
If we take this job, someone is going to get hurt. Not me, of course. I'm an effing delight. You do what you do, I'll do what I do. I'll keep the red stuff inside of you.
Buddy, we live in Night City. Just breathing can get you killed.
This sort of job? Bullets flying, people dying, gangers riding, corpos trying to take what they don't already own. Doesn't matter. For us, just another day at the office.
When the world seems bleak, you follow your heart. Take that stage without hesitation and give it everything you've got.
There's a lot more to this city than you'd think. You just gotta dive beneath the surface. People like me, we dive into the depths.
So we are back. In the last half, we just opened a undercroft to this temple. So, what would you like to do? There is now like a... It's not like you can walk into it. You'd have to like slide.
Michael,
that's
Darius
not
goes in.
That's not
as our de
suspicious
facto
as
leader.
fuck.
What did you say? What did you say? De
Darius,
facto leader?
You're our de facto leader. You should go first.
I don't think that's true at all.
I mean, aren't you the most senior member?
No.
Currently here at this.
You give a lot of orders.
Technically, we're equal, Valmir and me. I think the person who got the bag off their head the first was Valmir, but Ruby's not here, so.
I am so.
Well, Valmir's been.
Are you Soul or are you Ruby?
Are you Soul?
Ruby or Soul?
Here.
I am here as well.
And yes, there's also Ron.
I was actually like, not to be that lady, Zedaar. We said we need a healer. You look to James before me.
Well, I thought you were Ruby, but then I thought you were Soul with the religion stuff.
We need to get a name tag that flips so we can kind of like tell.
Her hair changes color.
Because I'm a blonde. Yeah.
That's like
I'll
when you
go
go to those
first, I
Brazilian
guess.
steakhouses and you flip your thing over when you want them to bring more meat. That's what we
I've
need.
heard a lot of different blindnesses. I've never heard of somebody being hair blind.
I think that one, that one's just called blind. When you can't see a physical attribute, I think that's just lack of sight. Vision impairment, I think that one is.
I suppose I will go first then. Though technically, as a leader, I should be ordering other people to go first, but.
This group does not have a leader.
It doesn't have a leader.
This group barely has a direction.
I'm just humoring you at this point. Let's go.
We just throw people out in front. We're just like, hey, you're the leader today. Get out there.
Congratulations, you've been selected. Please do not resist.
So what kills me, Midge?
Okay, so you got to slide down.
Yeah.
Give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Cool.
As you sit yourself on the altar and
27.
You go. Zzz, you pick up quite a bit of speed because after you leave like the stone tower, you feel like you've hit like metal tube. As you go and manage to like stick the landing of like onto your feet, and you are in a cold, slightly warm, slightly musky, damp environment.
Cold and warm.
No, it's not cold.
Cold humidity.
Not cold anymore. Like you've got
okay. Well, you said
it feels
slightly cold, slightly warm. So I was trying to figure out what you meant.
Did I? I didn't mean cold.
Yeah. Did you mean clammy and warm? Or...
Yes, I meant it's kind of musky, sort of.
Cool.
Imagine you're inside an old like. If this room was an old book, you are that atmosphere.
Yeah.
But not
cool.
as in a book you found in the forest, kind of.
I'm in an uncomfortable library.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, an uncomfortable library. Okay.
You can't see a thing.
Can't see a thing.
It's pitch dark.
I take 5 steps to the side and go, "All right, it's safe," and I wait.
Sure.
I go down.
Okay.
Zedaar, do you have dark vision?
I do.
Okay. Make me an acrobatics.
I'm gonna do acrobatics because I'm not very athletic.
Sure.
I was hoping it would be you, and you'd just eat shit on the way down. Just
14.
Speaking of, so
my fur gets staticky.
So like as you're going down, it's like you actually get like a little bit of your fur tugged by where like the join of the slide is, kind of thing, between the bits they put, and then you go down and you sort of. You do that thing where you land, but the momentum keeps going. You like it goes from slide into run, and you have to put your hands out. You stop yourself on top of like what is like a sandstone wall, and in front of you is like a shelf with a dead body on it.
I'll take out the gem of brightness and kind of shine it. Expend one of the charges so that Darius can see.
It doesn't expend charges when it's just a light.
Oh,
that's
great.
free
I don't
act. That's a
expense
free
those
action.
That's
charges.
free. The only expense charge is when you are doing it to someone. Like
When you
yeah.
when it's only happens when the torch becomes pain. Yeah, it's so yeah. You see, you are now in like a, and then same again, James. If you make an athletics acrobatics, if you're coming down, but you're in.
You had one of those.
You are in like a mausoleum, like crypt kind of location. There's like shelves with bodies on.
Like a tomb that needs to be raided.
25.
Yeah, James, you
Was that a
didn't stop.
reference? I don't get it.
Seems you're in a bit of a predicament.
Call me Laura Undercroft.
God damn it.
God damn it. I was
James,
trying not to.
you also now see like there's like you essentially there's like a couple of shelves with various bodies on that have been laid to rest. Some of these
Same
look,
ceremony that I saw.
in fact, you actually see the body that you saw in said ceremony. It's like the freshest one.
Well, okay.
I'll
move out of the way, kind of look at that while everybody else comes down.
The rest of you coming down?
I have not been told not to.
Just
okay.
tuck and roll.
So as
that would be a 9.
Yep. As you hear Braun come down, you just hear dunk, 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 as like someone has dropped a boulder down an elevator shaft. It's
like a gumball machine that's metal.
It's like someone's thrown a metal trash can down a set of stairs. Like it is just
Pinball
all the way
machine
down,
sound effects.
and Braun just takes 2 bludgeoning damage.
But the funny thing is, he has a giant smile on his face when he lands. So that is how the money feels when I win it.
So glass half full with this guy.
I would
Braun's
like to
poetic.
go gambling with you, Braun.
No, you don't. You'll lose all your money.
You're with, not against.
He's cleaned out multiple people in carts on the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest of the crew refuse to play against Braun anymore.
That's the reason he only does slots now.
But I do sleight of hand, so.
Braun is very perceptive.
I'm not sure you would want to play with me, Zaraj. I am not very good.
Don't hustle me, robot.
But I will say now that there's enough of you down here, you can make it down pretty much no problem if you're coming. Breton, are you coming down as well, or are you staying up top?
There's definitely a place to go, and he shouldn't leave the group alone. But he's going to be cautious here. I'm actually going to have him cast See Invisibility on himself before he goes down here, just to make sure there wasn't a person standing in the corner of the room invisible, just looking around, like waiting to see us go.
Another adventurer.
Sitting on our coattails as we go down.
He was already raiding this place. We just came in.
How could he see me?
Yeah.
There's no one in the room above you.
Okay. It also allows me to see in the ethereal plane if there's anything of note there. But
Oh
that's
fuck.
just
Give me a moment.
Oh god.
Right. That doesn't bode well.
Sometimes I wish we didn't have my gem of seeing unattuned.
We've dealt with this with the spiders before, is a note.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I don't have the spell slots or the attunement slots for that.
Well, Zep does have a lantern of revealing nowadays.
Too bad you're above ground and on the other side of the city.
The opposite of where we want our gnome.
If you can see into the ethereal plane, there is a number of ghosts around that room.
Awesome.
Does it look like they are haunting it, or does it look like a place where these spirits just don't move on? Like, can you get a
It's more so.
feel?
Yeah, there's a feeling of benevolence for sure. Like it's not. They don't look like they're coming to get you, but they seem to be.
Warding spirits. Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of as you look at them, there's like they're not like exact like replicas of the statues, but they seem to be like in the similar attire.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like ceremonial spirits.
then Breton will also slide down. Presumably, he's the last person at this point.
I would say so, yes.
Does your armor make the same clanky clanks as Braun?
Considering, actually, I was gonna say, can Breton write down this thing like it's a fucking surfboard?
Give me an athletics check.
Sure.
Because you're gonna smack your head so hard.
Soul has not gone down yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, Breton's waiting for last, so.
Can I use acrobatics?
Yeah, you can use acrobatics if you're going down.
Yep.
Yeah, slippy, slappy, slidey. Whee. 9.
Yeah, it's you get like carpet burn as you go down. You take like 1 point of damage.
Been a while.
But yes,
your dress rides up a little bit, gets you a little bit of the skin burn on the back of the thigh.
No.
Breton, this is important for you. On one of the shelves in front of you, where that you see that there is someone who is cloaked by invisibility hiding behind one of the bodies, like that they've crawled onto one of the shelves and they're hidden.
This was a lot less dangerous than I thought it was going to be coming in here. There's like nobody.
Yeah, there's nobody here.
It's totally dead.
Yeah, I kind of expected more to be down here, considering what with the slide and.
Oh, there's other room. This is just the room that you're in. There's corridors off of this, by the way, as a note. But yeah, Breton, you see an individual sort of like playing dead behind the dead body, invisible, in one of those like alcoves where the bodies are.
I don't think anybody's hiding down here, do you?
I don't know. I don't see anyone.
Can I sniff the air?
Smells like dead people.
And Breton is just gonna start like walking along the shelves. He's gonna see just how nervous this person gets when he gets closer to them.
Okay, make a deception. No, make a deception check.
Oh, you want me to roll a deception check? Okay.
Braun got a 19 on a perception.
Braun doesn't see them.
I rolled a 7.
Sees bandages being blown away by the breathing.
Just listening to heartbeats.
It's kind of like that thing. You're standing in front of them on the shelf, going, I wonder if there's anybody here. And they kind of
stabbed.
They just kind of look at you, and you see like a similar attire to the individual that took you here. It's like that sort of like coif like full face mask, but you just see their eyes, and their eyes are just sheer panic and looking at you like,
man, I'd be ashamed to catch anybody down here, wouldn't it?
they're kind of giving you that look of
because I'd be pretty freaked out. I'd stab them immediately.
Just saying, we're just curious about who might be hiding in here.
Are you saying there's somebody in here, Breton?
Yeah, can I insight check Breton? He's a little sus, dude.
Yeah.
He's giving this person every opportunity to reveal themselves.
I got a 13.
He's just gonna.
7.
Wow.
We're alone.
13 actually matches my passive deception.
Must have been the wind.
Yeah, quiet as the grave down here.
Is there something interesting over by that corpse over there? Because I haven't
Breton is just gonna.
You've been staring at it pretty directly.
Breton is just going to sigh and reach in and kind of grab the person by the arm and is like, all right, this is enough of this. And just basically pull them out and just hold them there standing up.
Their invisibility uncloaks as soon as you make an attack on them, kind of thing. You see this slender-framed, heavy robed, coiffed individual, similar, very similar, almost uniform-like with the individual that brought you here.
Why didn't you say something, Breton?
I felt this would be an easier way to catch them. They were laying down, they were behind a body, they couldn't run in the position.
What is your name? Invisible one now, Dean.
We can see him now.
The uncloaked one.
Uncloaked one. That's good.
The visible.
I write that down.
A bunch of really bad superhero names. Just
You hear a feminine voice, followed by the. My name is Kessie.
Kessie?
Kessie. Kesi.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who was coming in here, so I hid.
I would
Are there
have
a lot
done
of-
the same thing.
Have you noticed many people that come into this church?
A lot of people venture in, never too deeply outside of the priesthood.
Breton is just gonna let her arm go. He's not gonna just hold on to them by force and say, "We're not here to hurt anyone inside. We're looking for something."
She takes off her hooded coif sort of garb, and you see like a sparrowy colored ringlet hair, and very deep brown eyes, and like she's got like a some sort of like face like tattoo ish kind of thing. Again, like you saw on Sefka, like where it's almost like it's raised skin, but she's got like a half moon indentation around like the side of her face and head. And so the half moon, like the patterning within it, looks to be like the holy symbol of Brala.
What are you doing down here?
I am keeping watch.
Keeping watch. For what and for whom?
People trying to infiltrate the sacred place of this temple.
Sol will cast light to provide some illumination to the scene.
There's some from the Gem of Brightness, but more light does help.
Okay. Well, you may find this a little more, as I go blurry. There we go. You may find this a little odd, but we are also down here looking for something that's pretty sacred. But I think we had a conversation. We might come to a better understanding and not have to resort to any sort of sneakery or fighting. I am Sol. These are my friends.
I am Braun.
I can assure you it is just those who have passed that reside down here.
Okay. We're not from here.
I can tell that.
And we did not come here by accident.
I believe she's referring to the warding spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Of which there are actually quite a few here, just as a note.
Yeah, there are like spirits also wandering the halls down here, Breton.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of Brayla's children? She'll gesture to the mark.
Oh. I yes, and yeah, yes and no. where I'm from, we do not use her that name for her.
Well, having talked to her quite recently, I don't think she minds it.
You see a kind of a taken aback element to this lady where she's like, sorry, she's processing a lot of the conversation like 3 seconds after it's been said, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, wait, what? You just say you talked to our god, kind of thing.
I am among her chosen. Somebody who was brought back and reborn. Waiting for a response. I'm sorry. It's waiting for
No,
further.
she's kind of, well, it is a pleasure to be in the presence of someone so trusted by the mother, but I am still confused as to why you are all here. Give a quick insight check.
Me or everybody?
I say anyone can.
I want to hand out a ration and ask, are you hungry? We are actually here to help the survivors of the attack.
Natural 20.
Oh, James.
Move my 19 out of the water.
Yeah, James, you just about get this. She seems like she's being very tactical with how she says things.
Very choosy of her words.
Mm-hmm.
Carefully choosy.
Very careful.
When we arrived here, we spoke with an individual known as Sefka. They told us that the attackers, the ones who were responsible for attacking the city, they still have individuals who are infiltrating certain sections of it. And we came to the assumption that they were searching for something. And we think we know what they're searching for. And it is in all and everyone's best interest that they don't find it.
If you are looking for some sort of artifact or relic, I can assure you the many monastic orders of the city will be taking very good care of that, somewhere probably within the cathedral.
But it would be much less suspicious a lone guardian keeping watch. Especially someone who's being so careful about what they're saying to us. I think you're the guardian of whatever artifact is here. And I think that we should just be frank with one another. If so, I imagine you have the ability to make yourself invisible. You might have the ability to, see the truth within our hearts, maybe? I'm sure that all of us might be willing to subject ourselves to such a influence. It would put your mind at ease and allow us to achieve our goal.
You hear the of someone else coming down the slide, for lack better of term.
What they roll, is it like a, oh, damn it!
No, it's almost like that this individual has done this quite a bit. And you see Sefka has joined you.
Get tired of waiting outside.
got tired of listening from up there. It is okay, sister. These are the Skyfire Adventuring Company. They're the ones who are at Compound.
Wait, what?
That's significant to those of us that were at Compound. For
Yeah.
half the party, we weren't there.
That's true.
You were observing us at Compound.
No, but we have heard of you. And there are certain circles which have been discussing what it is you seek.
Never in my life. I did prepare Zone of Truth today. Oh. We could interrogate the fuck out of this guy if we wanted to. Sorry, that was out of character.
And what circles might that be?
In the same way that you would be cautious about what you know and what you would want revealed, naturally, with our travels, we've learned that we need to be cautious as well. And we've learned that whenever somebody knows about us, it is a reason that we should understand why.
That is very fair. And do not worry, we are not enemies in this matter. I will let you
detect thoughts.
Sure. There's you get the you get the thoughts of like this individual is like when they're talking to Breton, in their top of their thoughts they're going Breton Montelier, a knight retainer, like almost like it's thinking of the biography of that person from what they know.
Knows
like
a lot about us.
As in, like,
member of an order that is literally just one person. It's him because he founded his own order.
But it's just like knight retainer to House Sunderstar. It's kind of you're getting like, imagine like someone's just opened like a CIA case file on dossier. Yeah, you're getting like a dossier of individuals that he's looking at.
Known aliases.
Known alias, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of that kind of thing. Is they like. There are a lot of orders within this city, and there's a lot of people that talk about the news, the histories, the world that is unfolding around them. I have taken it a part of my job to listen, hear the information between the information. And when somebody returns with a miracle child to a very famous kingdom, it becomes, you know, a point of order, especially when theories are devised around the essence of that child.
But Breton wasn't a part of that group.
No, of course not. But he is the one that is asking the question right now, so I am directing it to him.
No, that was out of character. It's just like, how would you? Because if that was about the group that brought the child, then how do they know about the people that came afterwards? Kind of thing.
Let me finish.
They started yeah, they've been keeping tabs up on our group since that point, so they know the new members and everything as well.
Yes. The only one I am not aware of is I'm currently have not heard of this individual here with the unfortunate affliction.
I thought they were going to say skin condition for a second. It's okay. He's just pale.
I mean, Ron is healthy, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know how you can't know him. We found him in Redberry.
I understand. I look different. Zep is not on my shoulder.
It's alright. You look great, Ron.
It feels weird.
I didn't make a candle for Braun.
Does Braun have olfactory sensors?
That's a good question. I don't think we have time for.
Braun can smell. He is a no less as a creature.
So he's better than Darius.
Yeah.
He's got really good perception, so
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. He's very... He is a person. He was just...
Are you saying that having a sense to smell makes you more of a person?
Yes. In this case, yes.
So are you arguing that Braun's more of a
depends
person
on-
than Darius?
It depends on how you classify person.
Considering that he has like no muscle mass, it is a more personable element about him, I would regard, yes. It is one of the less material elements of his being, yes.
Let's be honest, Darius is just a collection of character flaws more than a person. So.
Ow.
Gonna need a sensu bean for that one.
Yeah, that's
damage.
Anyways, are we to presume that you are... We heard about you from the philosophers when we were reading in Atria. You're one of the groups dedicated to keeping the seals safe.
We are the followers of the person who... We are emissaries of the individual that would be protecting one. Yes. We do not ourselves guard it, but we patrol the outsides of the chambers. Keep it safe.
You guard the god.
When there is someone who is dedicated to the survival of such an important piece, they naturally cannot explore the ongoings of the world, but it does pose useful to hear about these things. So, myself and the order we are with help in that matter.
And which is this order? The name, that is.
I think in the common tongue it would be Stonekeepers.
Well, then you know what we're here about. We have an idea of what you're here about. We can simplify this. You know, at least it seems the reason you would know, that the individuals who attacked this city, the individuals who are trying to infiltrate the city, they're here because they want that artifact.
I am aware of it, yes. There have been those who have continually tried to infiltrate. We have done our best to keep them at bay. It is not easy to kill those of such power.
It seems like they've done a good job of isolating you.
They destroyed half a city trying to get to you.
Well,
They destroyed half the city just trying to isolate the city so they could search it.
this is what happens when there are two in one place.
Come again?
There are two here.
There are two seals here. The one
I'm
that
told
we,
about that.
the one that we guard is but part. Our failure here, if it happens, would not be the end, but the more pressing matter is the one that is kept by the other holy orders. And
And which one is this?
Scales.
And you have one piece of Brayla's heart?
We do. The scales are unfortunately not as protected in the secrecy terms. They are a well-used and carried relic by those of the Law Singer's faith. In fact, they preside judgment using them. it's under guard in the more mundane sense. They decided, the Lawsinger's followers decided that it would be better to keep their objects secured by publicity. Putting it into a position in their faith that it was so recognizable, so potent that one, people didn't realize its true power, but two, they could keep it guard wherever they went or wherever they ended up. And following the wars, they ended up here, right where we were hiding part of Brayler's heart.
Well,
it is almost a miracle that the infiltrators have not gotten to either, as far as I'm aware. But getting into the cathedral these days is
complicated.
Beyond complicated. Well, it's that, and they're also keeping prisoners there.
The ecclesiarchy doesn't want anybody getting close to anything.
The ecclesiarchy are also fighting for control of it between all of the other holy orders. It is messy.
Their house is divided, and it is only a matter of time before that one gets yanked.
Because they are too divided, and instead of just joining together to protect it, they all want it for themselves. Greedy bastards.
Ironically, the few people that are actually trying to... The followers of the Lawsinger, they're being as mediators as they are. They're not trying to take the lead, but sadly I think they would be better at the lead at this point with how divided everybody else is. They are the natural middlemen, but
voice of reason.
Do they answer to anybody in particular? Like all the orders, is there a central authority figure? I understand that they're thousands of miles away.
Every order will have its leader. There's a lot of them have grandmasters and such.
I'm just saying, but do they all coalesce under one unified?
In the theocracy here has an elected leader who is elected from the grandmasters of the various holy orders that make up the state. Sadly, the last grandmaster died in the attack, and we were in a moment when there is no leader because no one has been able to get enough people together to elect a new one.
So perhaps if an outside influence could be brought to bear upon it, somebody of authority and power to tell them to unify.
Yes. That could
Am I not mistaken, or does that sound like a job for a living saint?
It depends on if you are thinking the religion, the Natahelian living saint. Possibly that might get a few of them to listen, but again, they are all from different pantheons here, and it becomes very...
Get the ball rolling.
Yes, probably the fastest person to do it would be the king that never was. If you had a direct line to them, we could save us all a lot of trouble. But
Let's get the tilter head up.
What about the crown prince? What about the crown prince of the Rien? What authority could he position on them?
He could put some weight on the those who retain from the Rien. If you could pull multiple sources to pick a leader and have outside influence looking in, that would work. The King Bishop of the Pantheon of Albe would be far better. He's the living voice of the king that never was on this plane, as elected by the church.
Is he in seat?
Yeah, he would be. He's in the Cathedral of Ascension.
I can't get there. I can get to Reshin and I can get to Gervalu.
But you could message the crown prince, couldn't you?
Technically, Ruby met him?
Yeah, the crown prince. I think you probably could.
Well, even if I got a hold of him, what would we say? How would we get him here?
We don't need to get him here. We just need to get the authority to approve whatever we're going to say. Don't you all have his seal?
We have the seal, but we're a very long way away, and he's not here to enforce it.
I hope you mean you don't have an actual seal of Elendor seal. You're talking about a seal as in the...
Crown Prince.
Okay.
Yes? Crown Prince. It was something that was gifted upon the party long ago, but that was an act of their authority.
I'm gonna make this man inside check you.
We didn't lie.
No, because Soul just answered yes to him when he asked if which kind of seal do you have, and you said yes. Are you saying that there are now 3 seals within my city?
I did not say that. I said yes. Yes, we have a seal of the Crown Prince.
Shall we carry on with this conversation?
We have a political seal, not a magical one.
You are very hard to read, good sir.
His expression never changes.
What can I do to help you?
We are
Seal is-
actively... Sorry, go ahead.
If the seal is safe, the seal is safe. We're not going to try and do anything with it, but we do want to stop any infiltration and attempts to steal either of the seals. They must be kept safe. Not to mention the combination with the humanitarian effort to actually help the city itself. It is a twofold thing, but if we can stop the infiltration, then we can save everywhere all at once.
It is, the infiltrators, they use polymorphic techniques to infiltrate. Some of them, they don't like to say it, but one of the attackers was disguised as an order member themselves. I saw it with my own eyes. They had been a part of one of the holy orders as far as I can 15 years perhaps, at least from my knowledge, and was probably 15 years ago that I first met them. But they were... These people have been hiding in plain sight for generations sometimes.
They're waiting for the opportune moment when the borders between our world and the others are weakest.
So there is a conspiracy here, and is that why we think that they are not rushing to give this side of the city aid so that it is...
I think
less
it's a mix.
defensible?
I think it is a mix of things. I think there is probably some using that element, but a lot of it is as well is just pure unfortunate circumstances. We live in a world that is everyone is being pulled every which way to so they cannot help another. The world is divided from pauper to king of every nation right now. And when you have a crisis so large as ours, naturally it is hard to even begin. I am not normally this plain with our situation, but I know who you are. And I will tell you thusly, our order is down to but 15 people.
The attack hurt you.
The attack, the surprise. We were ourselves 250 strong. The city was... And we are not an order in a way that is hugely identified within the majority of the... Oh, we're not a holy order that makes up any of the city council or anything. We need to keep ourselves subversive, but our manpower is very thin right now in itself. We look as we have committed ourselves to continuing our deflection as community leaders in the Azdakian quarter of the city. It makes...
Then in your determination, is your seal still safe here?
Nobody has found the chamber as of yet, but individuals have gotten a bit close.
Like us? We've been in here a day and almost found it.
This is...
I was going to say we are pretty knowledgeable about what we're looking for, so...
You obviously are working off good knowledge, but so are they. We found a group of 3 individuals in one of the passageways. This is but a foyer, should we say. We are miles from where it is being held. And besides me and... oh gosh, what was the individual?
Sefka?
No, the Sefka who is talking. Kessie and Kione, who are on the surface looking after elements of the community. The rest are patrolling the tunnels.
Given that knowledge, would you think about giving it to us for safekeeping?
You would have to take it from my master's dead hands.
Who
Or
is the master? What form do they take? We've already met the guardian of one seal, and they were very powerful.
If you would put minds at ease, we would also not mind meeting them. Just to talk to them, not to try and discuss anything.
Yes,
Obviously, I imagine they would have a far better idea of how they feel their seal is.
fellow protectors, getting to know one another.
His name in life was Rudlow.
History, religion?
Yeah, go for it. Make a religion check.
14.
Doesn't really ring a bell.
16.
There's a tale of like an old Azdak king by the name of Rudlow. That kind of rings a bell. They pledged themselves to protect it, and they have protected it ever since, even beyond the veil of the living.
Right. Not that I would shirk from their charge, but the city outside is one good dragon away from being ended entirely.
I agree.
I mean, if they bury the artifact, then they have to dig for it, so that gives us time.
They know where it is. They know you're weakened. I doubt they're done.
Sadly, I think they only heard about our artifact more recently. They found information of our order from the archives of the Holy Order within the cathedral. I believe the original plot was to try and take the scales more so than anything, and then curiosity was piqued that they could nab more than one. I've been trying to run interference ever since, when I'm not also trying to stop teenagers stealing rain.
How mobile is your guardian, your master?
He remains to the chamber in which the seal is kept.
Would they be willing to relocate their chamber?
I believe that would...
With the artifact?
I believe that would end them for good to do so. I believe part of their pact is tied to said chamber. But if you could convince them to no longer be the guardian and have someone else become the guardian, that and them happily pass on, then you could probably have that person move around and, you know, until they died. We have precautions to do just that if things go too awry.
Well, I was thinking that there was great concern with there being multiple seals in the same location. It seems that one is kind of locked into the cathedral at this point in time, and, well, you all are the most I guess you would be the easiest to uproot because there is little known about your presence at the moment.
That is true, but you require all three to create the full seal. Like, if they were trying to undo the seal's power of Brala's Hut, you would require all three pieces to remake it.
I know.
But so the seals, this is a lore question. The seals have to remain broken. That's good.
Yeah,
when they're
broken
fixed,
is good.
That's bad.
Yeah, if they're fixed, that'd be bad. That's
bad.
That's the no fun timing. It's almost like that. Each different ideology that was protecting the seal had a very different way of doing it, and the people who had Brala's Heart had a smart idea and kept the broken pieces in very different locations.
Same for the Blade of Equilibrium.
Yep.
And so here we know that there's 2 seals, but there's only one of the pieces of Brala's Heart. Right?
Yeah. There's 1 1/3 basically. Well, actually, no. Technically, it's 2 1/3 because you've got one on your ship.
Well,
just as a reminder, you do have one yourselves.
Yes. Well, yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
Yeah, I'm keeping that one
Anymore.
off the list. That one's in a box for a reason.
So the scales, because they're using them to actually pass judgment, does that mean that they're working? Therefore,
you don't know.
Well, the shroud still has a semblance of power in it.
Yes.
Even though it is broken. Yes.
Okay.
So the scales can still have a semblance of power, even though they are still broken, and that's why they're trying to hide them in plain sight by using them as if they're a different artifact than the seal, in a sense.
It was mentioned that they do grow in power when it gets closer to the merging of the planes. So
that's also
even
true,
broken, presumably they just exhibit more power, but it's just they're still broken.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you also mentioned you found some individuals in the tunnels. I don't suppose you found them alive.
I did not take the chance of us keeping them alive and then making their way out, but I do have their skulls if you would like to talk to them.
Did they have any unique identification, marking, symbolism, heraldry?
They did not keep anything but their weapons and their ability to turn into dragons.
Oh.
Yes.
3 red, if it helps.
3 red.
I reported it to the emissaries within Atria to see if that are here, to see if they had any idea who they were. They had no idea.
Would they have gotten in from the same way that we did, from that chamber and the statue and the slide?
It is more likely that they got in some other way and broke into a tunnel system through something exposed by rubble wreckage. Unfortunately, the surface area of the labyrinth below is accessible by, the bottoms of wells around the town, etc. Unfortunately, subsidence, if they could have been mining themselves, made their own path. We are investigating that as we speak.
Zep, one time, my very smart friend told me about this really cool thing where you put buckets of water everywhere, and then when the ground around it is disturbed, it will create waves in the bucket. This might be a way to see if they are in fact tunneling in.
We will have to try and keep the buckets warm, but it could work.
Oh yeah, because it's freezing down here. Like ice. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, this room is actually quite warm, but it would work in here for sure.
Or you just use warm water.
Or you could just substitute it for any other liquid that doesn't freeze. I mean, they will all
put some salt in the water.
Salt in the water.
Salt water.
That'll work.
This is a good idea. I will pass the word around.
Maybe I could come up with some kind of chemical anticoagulant.
Is it smart for us to continue having this conversation here? Should we relocate to somewhere else?
This is probably
Would
one
like
of the
to speak
most.
to your leader if we could.
You already are.
More.
Well, do you mean?
Yes, that
Leader,
one.
leader.
To talk to your
I-
SEAL manager.
Well, I meant more, is the trapdoor sealed now? If somebody just stumbles in here, they're going to see it.
It is that. Yes, no, it is fine. It is closed up there. It's on a timer.
Convenient.
That was Breton's concern. It's like, are we just having this conversation? Anybody who just walked in the church is like, I don't remember there being a slide here.
Is this the new theme park?
My master is
God.
sealed in his chamber. I am only to open on if we are in the gravest of circumstances.
I mean, we are kind of in a tomb, so
Yes, but
We
basically,
understand.
my order will fight to the very end, and the very last of us will open the chamber, join our master, take on the stone, or with them fight it to the end. But we have plans that the person who takes on the stone will then leave, and the master will go down until they are no more.
go down with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
We have ways out, if necessary. But they are only accessible once the chamber is opened, and we only open the chamber at the last.
That information.
I am the
you-
leader of my order on the ground, though.
Running into the same problem we had thought of before. Most of these seals are relatively well guarded, and their guardians are not going to be willingly to are not going to willingly give them up because they have been guarded for so well for so long. And there is logic in determining that too many seals in one place is too big of a risk.
So we should focus our efforts on the side. Prevent the infiltration, try and stop the attacks, and cut out the threatening factor.
The good
Are all
news.
of the attackers dragons? Sorry, Sol.
They do not appear it at first, but it tends to be, yes.
I can sense dragons. Are there any, like, I know this isn't Atria, but are there any good dragons living here? Like, is it a mixture of the species in the city?
Can you
or...
sense, with your ability, can you sense alignment? I don't think you can.
No, I think it's just the species.
It's just,
or-
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the type of species, but like, if this is a place where dragons don't live, then I'm going to just automatically, red flag for every dragon I sense.
Profile
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I'm
Well, no,
usually pro.
no, this isn't Atria. There isn't natural dragons. However, some dragons are part of orders, holy orders, and also there are members of Atria investigating here at the moment, which you are aware of.
Correct.
No, but the ability to get into the men's side of somebody would be important here. Well, now, why don't we just resume what we were doing before as if nothing happened? We can try and eke out the individuals causing issues, and one day we can try and figure out a way to hunt down and deal with the proper threats to the city.
Okay.
Sefka, would you have some sort of way to alert us if another intruder comes, that we might be able to come to your aid? Like a snapstone or something?
I can cast sending.
Perfect. Please cast it on Sol. She is used to the brain messages.
What am I doing? Sorry.
You're
receiving ascending.
You seem like the person who can focus on multiple things at once the most. You have
something a little called out there.
Oh, you have
Yes.
you have an air of the ability to dual focus about you.
I'm getting the meta nosebleed right now.
Very literal interpretation of that feat, yes.
Yes, I have a talent for being able to juggle two things at the same time.
Yeah, multitasking. It's her specialty.
I don't have ADD.
Yes, living vicariously through our characters.
Yes, but who would I be conversing with?
Myself.
They're going to message you if there's a problem.
If there is a problem, I will send for you.
What I was going to aim at is, this is the first time, in at least our adventures so far, that the enemy has known where they are actively seeking them, and have put themselves into the open. At great calamitous damage, of course. But we were not here the previous time. There is no reason to think they will not come back for it. This is an opportunity for us to engage them directly.
That's the plan.
I believe that is why Zep wanted to come here.
I think it would be very useful if we could get more information as well out of those that were captured in the Citadel.
Trying that, I am going to try to levy some influence upon them, but we'll see.
That is the smartest course of action, but I do believe we should at least maintain our humanitarian efforts, if only just because it's the right thing to do, and we can do a lot of good both ways.
It was honestly more of a test. Those of the individuals at the butchers are it's a small group led by a man named Bepka. They are a nuisance more than anything, but like I say, the majority of the issues around here is the fact that we cannot connect with the rest of the city, so they can feel free to ignore us. We sell a story here as well, as much as the other individuals are selling a story. It looks better on the outside that there is just a small insurrection and rioting happening over here, rather than infiltrators looking for a seal of Elendor.
Out of curiosity, is there a place of arcane learning in this city?
It unfortunately is currently blocking half of the city from reaching the other side of the city.
It was the tower.
It was part of the tower, yes.
The citadel with the prisoners, that is on the other side, yes?
Well, that's actually one of the temples within the cathedral. It is... Sorry, I misspoke. I didn't mean citadel. Common is not my first tongue. It is...
Me neither.
Yes, it's confusing, isn't it? It's the cathedral. Some of it has been converted to house the dragons as prisoners. They are using what part of the ruins they've got left.
From the infiltrators that you have done away with, do you have any of their robes or equipment? Perhaps some token that I might utilize for a scheme I'm hatching up?
But no, the clothing polymorphed back into dragon with them once they turned back. It is the unfortunate nature of that spell. It is. I can give you dragon bits.
So you have the dragon skulls, not their...
Oh, yes, yes. It is their dragon skulls, yes.
Oh, okay.
We would like those and we will put them on the ship.
Just taking them as the foremast.
Would that be in bad taste? We do work with dragons somewhat closely.
We do work with dragons against other dragons.
I'll put human skulls on the ship. I don't care. Turn my
but you're not human. So...
It's like the Ewoks and the clone trooper skulls.
What if Raj walked in Soul's room and saw that she had a stuffed cat that she had when she was a kid, just laying on the counter?
Would you be okay with tabaxi skulls on the head?
Yes, I would be. That's cool. But anyways, I'm sorry.
I think we're learning more about Ghibli than we are about Ghibli.
Yeah, it's.
So here is my idea. And I'm going to say this in front of Sefka to see what their reaction is. we can interrogate the prisoners under the guise of interrogators. Or, and I've done this before, we stage the prison break. I come in as an ally. I say, oh, look, I'm going to get you out of here. We build up the trust with them, and then we capture them on our own footing, where we can use our own environment. I don't know, maybe make a space where they cannot lie, and we don't have to deal with perhaps corrupt guards if we believe that there is a greater conspiracy here. And then we get them where we need them, and then we can ask the real questions.
I like it, but the problem is dragons can fly. So
yeah,
when we break them out, they might just fly the fuck away.
We need some big scissors to clip wings.
I mean, they're currently in change that stop them from doing that, so it's kind of in the best place scenario right now. I love the gumption, but it is.
Should also get our hands on a pair of those rings to show them to Zep. That would be a very good idea.
With the chains that they're yes. Yes. I honestly think you being an outside source that could possibly talk to those within the cathedral that I do not have means or access or frankly wants to would be of great benefit. But I do respect that also there is the humanitarian crisis, and I know you want to help and you're doing everything you can to help. I am...
If the bandits are not a threat, then we'll focus on other means, but we can do both at once. There's going to be time that Bill says. I don't think we're going to be able to make our way and convince those in the cathedral that we've already tried once.
Not without backing, which is why I think I could get us to somewhere else where we might be able to get some support from people with higher authority.
Yes, it's a double-edged sword, but the banditry is like, if anything, it is petty looting that has been either blown out of proportion by us or by people with the other side for multiple reasons. It is not anything that actually requires seeing to, and will sort itself out as soon as that we can get food to people on the regular.
Well, this is all that I have, and I'm gonna give them 9 rations, and I'll cast Good
please keep
Berry
your
again.
food. Please keep your food if you're going to be actively investigating around the city. You need to be as live as much as these people. They can survive on rat stew for a long time if they need to.
Hey.
Sorry,
I can't uncast Goodberry though, so
the good berries
it would be rude of you not
it's
to
fine.
take
I will find.
That's rude.
Will you find some people to distribute these to?
Thank you.
Instead of the individual.
If somebody kept trying to force something on me, I'd be hesitant to take it either. So what's wrong with it?
I showed you a Goodberry. Please respond.
Oh, juicy.
So, we have a friend of ours, a party member, who is actively trying to build a means of egress and ingress into this area of the city.
Yes, it's Zeb Skyspan. He's the one that owns the ship, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, what you're saying is our efforts might be best trying to get into the cathedral? Since the banditry is solved, humanitarian aid is going to have a lot of food involvement, ration involvement.
I would say if we are looking to connect the city and us again, it would be wise to think about coordinating how we're going to do that. If infiltrators were looking to get back into this half of the city again, that would doing supply and resupply caravan would be the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they are still infiltrators within the Holy Orders.
So, why don't we try to head up a resupply caravan from coordinations with the cathedral? We could bring them in, and then we could get the supply caravan. We could ride in with it in the event that there are infiltrators that decide to join ranks. And that way, we have quite a few bases covered. We're opening up line of communication to the two parties that are controlling seals in the city. And we're also trying to flesh out the infiltrators in a means that you are believing they will use.
That could work.
Now, we will keep our other members. I believe Zeppin is still going to be manning the rebuilding effort and roadways. But the rest of us can definitely assist with this caravan job.
Well, the roadway will be required for the caravan job, no?
Yes. Yes, true.
Not necessarily. We have the airship.
And we do have a lower crew count on the airship, so bringing on extra people might entice the infiltrators to come in. Well, it at least gives us an excuse to bring on new heads.
Yes, and I mean, if there is nothing on your skyship that an infiltrator might want to get, that would be a great idea.
I do have a lot of catnip on this ship. I don't think we want to bring the infiltrators there.
Look,
I
all
don't
I'm
think the catnip's going to be the primary.
all I'm saying is, if I know who you are, who's to say that they don't?
We absolutely know who they know who we are.
Evidently, we're a lot more famous than we ever anticipated.
I've always been famous. I'm used to it.
You really are.
I think you're missing an inn in front of that.
Yes.
Perhaps we could divide our efforts a little bit. In order to unify these crusaders, they are going to need to be strong-armed. We could potentially use the leverage of Crown Prince and some others out of Nautathel, maybe even out of Legman's land.
We are on speaking terms with the king, so we could also potentially get his authority for those orders as well.
Yes. We need to get them together.
Sorry, not the king of Nautathel, the king of Ate. He's not actually the king of the entire country.
Well, yeah, I can get
Othray.
to Othray. I can get to Gervalu. I can get to Reshin. I think I also have Mort, although I don't think he's going to be quite as handy as one might think.
I think he might be the handiest of them all, though.
Just bring Mort in, he'll solve the problem.
Crazy ones are the best. You never know what they're going to do.
Well, the point is, we could leverage our sources to help get these crusaders to unify together. That way, when something happens again, and it will, they are better suited to deal with it. Additionally, it'll let us get more access to the prisoners and find out some more.
Honestly, working to unify what is going on here in any way will be a damn sight easier to navigate.
How long do you think that this trip will take you, Sol?
I don't know. I've never met any of them before. It'll have to be mostly Ruby.
Yes, because in terms of the grand scheme of the city, I am generally just Setka, the person who makes pots on the corner of the West Street. I don't exactly have much pull to bring in the king of the Rien or wherever it is you just said.
What I will do is I'll go to Reshin first, and I will try to get Zedaar.
Perhaps
That way I'm not doing this alone.
I think some of us should stay to help with Zep and fixing the caravan, but I also think I will infiltrate the infiltrators, and I will try to see who's, rumors and seedy, shady things that are going on, finding places where information might be discussed, hush-hush back rooms.
I do just have one concern about the Zaraj. Do you speak Draconic?
Damn.
No.
You just yucked all over her, Yum.
I speak Abyssal.
It would be very difficult to
That's-
pretend to be a dragon in disguise if you do not
Yeah.
speak
Why do
Draconic.
you speak? Why do you speak
Yeah, I was
Abyssal?
gonna say, speaking Abyssal would probably actually hurt your cover more than anything.
Why does not Claudia go with you and you act as her sort of attaché?
But
That might work.
Veto?
That might work. Claudia is
Claudia's-
she's a mastermind rogue. If anybody could infiltrate,
She's
it'd be her.
7. She's not even.
She's 15 years old. Just as a reminder.
I
That
know
is-
That's
that.
fine. That's
I know
She's
that
also-
you are her guardian, but at this point, I think it's up to her, and we should allow her to make her own decisions. Otherwise,
She's
you are
level
no
7.
better than the sister that was her charge or her ward before.
Out of
Curious.
character. She's level 7. She's like yes, she's a rogue. but
How is she
has
gonna
worse-
level up? How will
Yeah,
she
I was
level
about
up
to
if she
say.
doesn't do shit?
She's
Experience
training
chunk.
every day. I just say I have better stats in those fields than she does. I'm just a fighter. So just pointing it
Who
out.
also speaks Draconic.
She's also got to be one of the highest level
Oh.
15-year-olds I've ever heard of.
She's Renard.
She's a Renard.
Yeah.
D&D stuff. I mean, Darius was level 1 when he was in his early 30s, so
Renard
It's-
stuff.
it's the same logic as wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Darius was level 1 out of apathy, though.
No, Darius was level 1 out of trauma, but we'll get to that later.
That's true.
So, Claudia is off the books, or would you
I think we-
consider kind of having a little side mission quest for?
If she goes, she
Infiltration
needs
information
supervision. And
Siraj.
like,
I'm good now. I pray to Bahamut. I haven't stolen anything.
oh,
Can't wait till Zedaar finds out that everyone in this party now prays the Bahamut.
To be fair, I
Name's-
met Bahamut.
Darius
Things
could
change when you
go.
talk to a god, you know?
again,
Yeah, Darius could go, speaks Draconic, and like a couple of quite a few other languages. I mean, that could work.
to again put the other points of significance on this, as we already established, they know who we are.
True. And there's no reason they wouldn't know who Claudia is.
Claudia's not any of us, but she is still a Reynard, and I feel like it'd be pretty easy to sniff out a Reynard trying to infiltrate a member of a dragon cult.
I imagine that anybody
Never tried to
from
infiltrate anyone
Atria
before.
would also be quickly sniffed out.
I'm not trying to infiltrate and join their ranks. I'm trying to just hear the word on the grapevine. Like, I'm not trying to come back and be like, hey guys, I was accepted as an initiate into the bad guy order. I just want to hear about any potential plans or, attacks or just the rumors, really. I'm not going to join. Hello, it's
Alright.
me.
Okay, Zaraj, Claudia can go with you, but if anything happens to her, I'm holding you personally responsible.
Thank you.
This is the most serious you've ever seen. Tara's looking straight at your eyes. Like,
It's still her decision, though, so we will not say that she will go or stay
That's
until we
true.
ask.
I was going to suggest, Roz, aren't you the best person at weeding out those are hiding in plain sight, working for this group?
And I can sense dragons. This is basically all I am good at.
Then
maybe she can also teach you some phrases to kind of help you along with Draconic. Be a
I
little
was
bit.
going to say, then would not you just being around as many groups as possible as an intermediary, would that not be the best message for you to make as many contacts with people who are potentially infiltrating from that perspective?
Yes, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm going to cruise.
Presenting it that way seems a lot less problematic.
swear to God, if you're in a cult meeting in like next session, you get into a
They
cult
convinced me, guys. I don't know what happened, but I signed up, and now
you signed up my sister as well, and now we're just like, okay, well,
Just in some
I can
sort
kill
of
all of them now.
yeah, we're just
Zaraj now.
Plans
We're gonna
plans
let Claudia
left to the
decide.
end of next session where Zaraj has been gone for it the entire thing. It's just Zaraj is in a small cabin in the woods burning newspaper articles about their past lives, so that the information doesn't disseminate within the cult.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna take one word. It's like, so yeah, I've heard those Eladrin, they take trees. We know how to stop that, and we could tell people how to stop that. And Zaraj is just like, I'm on board, sign me up. And we never hear from her again. Claudia's gone. The rest of the campaign becomes Hunt the Cat.
Welcome to the Elendor Chronicles. Cat's out the bag.
So who will be going on the royalty diplomacy mission?
Just me.
By yourself?
I won't be alone for long. I'm going to grab a friend.
I don't know if I can lose Ruby Soul again.
I'll be back.
It'd be like a blink of an eye.
Maybe not that quick.
I was trying to calm her nerves.
There are plenty of leftovers in the kitchen, Zaraj. Your bowl is at least half full.
There's I can see the bowl through it, dude. I can't. It's not. It's empty.
I'll shake it around for you. Get rid of that center hole.
I'm going to go to Wretchen first and grab Zedaar. It's the first thing I'm going to do.
Zedaar is in Lake Ringus Land.
That's Wretchen, it's capital.
Yes, okay. Okay.
Is Breton cool with Soul going by herself?
Breton hasn't said a word about that.
Mechanically, I remembered I can mark a creature with my brand, and it can force it to drop any illusion disguising or making the creature invisible.
Okay.
So the creature is branded by you is in an alternate form. It has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or revert to its true form. So that could be something we could use in our investigation for infiltrators.
I'm not sure if that applies to true polymorph.
Okay.
But please send that over and I'll have a look.
If a creature by way of the polymorph spell, the change shape action, or shape changer trait, the wild shape feature, and similar effects.
Oh wow, okay.
As a note, if you're going to go Soul, you should probably leave the Gem of Trusing behind.
Okay, I can do that.
Because if anything is going to be allow us to pick out who was transformed, it's going to be that.
She will pull it out of her bag and hand it to him.
And you're just going to show it to Zevka for a moment. This allows an individual to have true sight. They can identify creatures who are shapeshifted. So that should be of immense use.
She'll also look at Breton. Keep an eye on them for a while. I'll be back soon.
Mm-hmm. So I suppose we should finally get out of here. How do we get out of here?
Oh, if you'll follow me. And they lead you round a couple more corners to what looks to be like a small spiral staircase, which they then begin to ascend. And then at the top, they open a little slat to see outside, and then begin to move a big stone wall, which, as you step out, looks to be like the leg of a large statue within like the temple that's kind of half broken now, but like it seemed to be of a god of some sort. But you're now in like what seems to be like the main prayer chamber of the temple. No one's in there. It's like this has actually been blocked off mostly by rubble. And he's like points to say it's a bit of a clamber, but you can get out this if climbing over the rocks there.
I'm going to return to the Skyfire to collect a few supplies, and then I'll be off.
Question. Did you ever buy any chalk?
Before, yes, I don't have them on me. That's why she's going back to the Skyfire.
Okay. When did you do? When did you?
We made a pit stop at that place in Benumdum.
Okay.
I bought like one set of it because we determined it was going to cost way too much money to do a lot.
Yeah. How many were you looking for to purchase?
All she bought was one.
Okay.
One casting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's 50 gold.
Perhaps, Sol, before you depart, you should speak with Zep, as isn't that his homeland? Maybe he wants you to bring him back something like coffee or something, you know? His favorite candy bar.
A moment. Cast sending. Zep, do you want anything from Lagran's land? I'm making a trip. Like going to the grocery store.
On a Wawa, you guys need anything?
Does Zep want anything?
Coffee, enchanting materials.
And what materials?
Enchanting materials.
Enchanting materials. I thought I said hunting materials. Wait, what?
But why are you going? I can speak to the Duke from here.
I'm not. I'm picking up Zedaar. We're gonna be cut off. Damn spell. Cast again. I'm also going to be going to Girvalu and Seat. We need to do something about the disorganization in this place.
Okay, good luck.
No clue what she's doing.
I just imagining the entire time that sending was going on, you just got soaring in the background. I know it's all telepathic, but you just hear somehow it's almost like it's going on in Zep's mind.
I almost expected Zep to ask for crossbeams.
It's really noisy in here.
Polyfill. I need box cutter blades, a load of pack of nails.
Anyway, that's where Soul's gonna go. Unless she stopped, she'll just wave at everybody. I'll be back in a couple days, I'm sure.
Okay.
Please be safe.
No promises.
You call back the Skyfire. You climb the rope up.
Sure.
Give me a athletics.
You wouldn't need to climb. You just throw the rope down and then they pull you up.
Okay, true. Okay, that's fine. You are pulled on board.
Hello. Oh, yes, hello. She could go past everybody. Thank you. She's going to go to her room, gather her couple days worth of supplies, food, her backpack, some clothes, and cast teleportation circle.
Okay. Which circle are you going to?
Reshin.
Are you informing anyone of your arrival?
I'll figure it out. I don't think I have a spell slot left without going higher. No, I do. Sure. Sending to Zedaar.
Okay. What do you send?
Hello, Zedaar. I'm going to be arriving in Reshin's teleportation circle shortly. This is just in case.
Yeah.
Right. Like said, he can do Zedaar.
Yeah, but he doesn't know where Zedaar is, so I'm gonna have to.
I don't know where he is, what he's doing.
Exactly. So
Fair enough.
I mean, you can shoot Lake the message, and Lake can have to say it.
It's easy for me to just say it.
I have no idea who I am.
Yeah, no, I'm
Bahamut.
gonna have to like do a lore dump on Lake for next week, I think. But for now, I will play Zedaar. If you don't mind, Lake, I'll have to take the.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
sure.
for ruining his accent as well.
Back to 2 characters, guys.
Yes, I am. I am
Just
not.
speak normally, please. Just speak normally, please. I'm not gonna be able to not laugh.
Keep doing it. You're killing it.
I am not at the Festung right now. I am at the hospital. I will let the Duke know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Poof.
And you begin to cast the sigils for teleportation circle, carefully marking out the coordinates and the arcane sigils. As the chalk seeps into the deck of the ship, you see them slightly glow, a residue blue. You have a couple of seconds to run into the circle.
Yeah, she's gonna get into it.
Cool. And
see y'all next week.
You hear the wintry winds of the Stylian theocracy like blur as you then hear the seaside calls of seagulls, and you are in a small building that looks to be weirdly on like a rocky outcrop in the harbor of Reshin. It is overlooking a log there, and you can see like the mountain of the Festung ahead of you. You're like at the foot of it in what seems to be a different part of the city, and you can see the castle ahead. And as you sort of map where you've come out, you're in the lighthouse at the edge of the harbor, looking back on the city itself, and it's just like you can make out like some of the sky span area, and it's oh shit.
It's at this moment that Soul realizes he doesn't have the teleportation circle sequence to get back.
No, you do not.
That's awkward.
Congratulations, you just wrote yourself out of the campaign.
I'll get back.
Well,
I'll
welcome to Soul trying to find someone who knows teleports in order to get back.
Or
we level up again later.
Even if there was a teleportation circle, you couldn't get here because there isn't one in this city.
No,
the tower's destroyed.
Teleport.
No, teleport would have to be the way forward.
You're nowhere near high enough level for that.
One level away.
Or maybe.
One spell level away.
Circle is 5th. Teleport is 7th.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm at 6th level, though. 2 levels.
Yeah. So you get it
figure it
at
out.
14th?
Figure it out.
13th. I was literally just looking at that because I was curious.
Well, for a sorcerer, it's 13th. They get
Well,
the first
15 for me because I 1 level of fighter.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I'll figure it out.
Either way, you appear. The harbor noises, the smell of burning coal, and there's that sort of smokiness.
Smells
but
like
then,
industrialization.
When your eyes adjust, you begin to notice things. One of the towers of the Festung is missing. There are apparent damage around the city. It's clear that the attack that happened here, the Iron Duke didn't let on to the scale of it. And it's not the worst of all the places that you've seen that were attacked by dragons, but it certainly has taken some damage. But being Lagerung's land, there are a lot of repairs already ongoing. In fact, the more you sort of sit there, you actually see a skyship coming along, like with a crane, a winch on the bottom, lifting. It seems to be like it's a much smaller skyship, but it's lifting like blocked stone, like trying to lift it up to the top of the Festung.
We could certainly use that right about now.
Yeah, seems we've entered the age of dragons. A dragon age, if you will.
What a wonder.
Just push his soul off the side of the
For
building.
some reason, the lighthouse explodes.
BioWare lawsuit impending.
No, it's nowhere. Suddenly, in the top of that lighthouse, gets shot into a giant sky city. A man in 1920s clothing grabs you and drowns you.
And thus we have the origin of Soul's demise.
Okay.
But she'll be the
Sure. We need to launch an inquisition to find out what happened to her.
Oh, Christ. Oh, good.
Stop.
Good Lord.
We have to find out the origins.
And you begin to make your way into the city. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Writing myself out of the story. Bye, guys.
I am building a tunnel. Or a bridge, whichever is easier.
Actually, yeah, let's jump to Zeb quickly. Zeb, so you wanted to go closer to the cathedral, and I take it you explained to the captain what it is you intend to do. But the way you look at it, it looks like it would be easier to start opening, like securing and building supports for walls, and then cutting into them to make a tunnel. Because you realize that eventually some of these will be like chambers and rooms, so it will be easier to like go over that rather than try and build something over for only the unstable foundation beneath to then give away. It's kind of like you'd have to be going into the ruin to support it, to put stuff on the top. If it's to weight, heavy storage and carts, possibly, it's far easier for you to get through. So
yeah, that's kind of gambling on part of this being hollow because it was the closest to falling, so it would have taken the least internal structural damage.
Okay. So you begin to make scaffolds and braces on the side of the rock, and you begin the simple method being the best. Chisels, hammers, sledges, and mattocks trying to carve your way through parts of the tower. Give me some artifice checks for me.
I just had an idea of what I want Zeb to make, but that can wait.
Hit me with it while you make the
little mole machine.
No, I was actually thinking like he made the cart before, which was a steam engine on a cart. Why not make a bulldozer? Natural 20.
Just to push the rubble around.
So let's make that a 38.
Zeb, you have the wonderful idea to make a bulldozer. How would you like to try and make a bulldozer out of what you've got?
I mean, it would probably be pretty similar to what he had done previously. So he would need to find a boiler of some kind and a cart. And then it's just a matter of putting as much power on that boiler through heat metal as possible with a big shovel on the front. Okay.
You rally some local smiths who then to start forging this bucket to go on the front, as you find a cart that you can reinforce enough to take its weight and the weight of a boiler, and you do so. After a couple of hours work, you have a machine that you think will do some of the heavy lifting. It's probably not going to like move the trebuchet level massive stones, but it'll be enough to shift a lot of the mundane and smaller rocks. As you return, some of your teams that you set up doing this have begun tunneling. In fact, an old individual comes along who begins to offer their services as well. Before they joined one of the holy orders, they grew up in a very small mining community in the Rien, and offer their services to help work out like where to put structure beams as you build these tunnels. So
I'm used to more making things fly rather than support. So your skills will be very useful for this.
And eventually you begin to make some headway. You're not through all the way yet, but you get to a point where actually you enter what seems to be a room, and there is kind of one of these things of once you get into the room, you begin to continue working, but quite a few of the people who have been like idly looking as you've been working this do like begin to encroach upon what you're doing. And an individual in like full kind of semi-ornate robes comes along. Excuse me, are you in charge of the mining operations here?
Yeah, my name is Zep Skyspan, and we are trying to make an entrance to the rest of the city so that humanitarian efforts can continue more easily.
Very good. Might I ask you stop work for just an hour or so whilst we have this room retrieved? It would be good if we could explore it to make sure any artifacts or relics can be rescued.
Yeah, of course, there are other jobs that I can be getting on with, and rescuing the knowledge of the city is, of course, paramount.
Give me a quick religion check. I know books aren't your forte.
But
but
it's still intelligent. Oh, that was almost a 20 again. 19.
19. You look around the chamber, and it seems like that one of the rooms that you opened up into seemed to be a... You found what looked to be the remnants of a font, as in like a font within a church. So you're like, yeah, no, it's like there wasn't anything that suddenly went. But this room doesn't look very like that there would be relics in it, kind of thing. It didn't look like they were bluffing, kind of thing. So, and you notice a number of like monks come in and start sifting through some of the rubble and you see one person like pull out like what looks to be like an old like wall ornament and kind of brushes it off and goes and puts it under their arm and kind of maneuvers it out, sort of thing. It's like there's like people start to, you know, take out some of the furniture, kind of thing as well.
I mean, this is a theocracy, so the fact that they have religious relics everywhere does not surprise me.
Yeah. But that's kind of takes you to the moment in which the rest of you, if you would want to, you can have found Zep.
And at this point, Zep's just in the bulldozer, like clearing just the regular rubble around the outside.
Yes, you return and Zep's made a car. You leave him alone, and he's got a steam-powered wagon. And with the 38 that you rolled, you've got a little like bicycle horn as well on it, just to get people out of the way.
Except this is very cool.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to have a go?
I kind of really want to drive it, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Don't you?
Yeah.
You have pilot land. Ziraj, don't you have pilot?
I have proficiency with land vehicles.
She does. Yeah, I was about to say, don't you have land vehicles?
That's why I drove the click-clacker.
So Ziraj is forklift certified.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
Well, at least we have one person in the party who is.
Never know when it comes in handed. Yeah.
Crisis averted.
Just make sure you have high vis on, though.
Of course, this is a construction site.
Take off my hood, my cloak of elven kind. Okay,
Yeah.
high visibility.
Before you left them as well, Sefka was like, if you require me, and you cannot find me in my side of the city, leave a note on the third pillar of the temple. Looking for bread and berries, and I'll know it's you, and I will come and find you.
All right.
Damn, that brand is really good, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So I would probably be disguising myself as non-noble, since I wear the flashier, finer clothing to go with them.
Okay.
In the event that Zedaar is like, yeah, mark that guy. Let's see what happens.
Sure. Trying to make yourself not look like a traveling doctor anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess because Breton was the one giving it to him, Breton is going to unattune from his ring of protection. No, he's going to unattune from the animated shield for a period of time, and he is going to attune to the Gem of Seeing just so that he can use that if that comes up.
Okay.
Because that will be, I hope, a clever play by me.
It might be. It might be. So what's the plan for the rest of you? Now that Zep is obviously still working on things, but if you need them, you need to tell them what's going on, and two, what's your further plan from there? Like what groups are we breaking off into?
Do we want to? Because we are like less
Yeah,
than 4 minutes away.
I know it's more so I know
planning?
where people are going next week.
time.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm asking.
Who wants to go on team find infiltrators?
Team Knight.
Darius will go.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea.
Probably not going to leave the construction site. That is something that's pretty much dedicated to, which leaves Breton by himself. And Valmir, whatever Valmir's doing.
Valmir. Yeah.
Breton's probably going to saddle up and just make rounds around the city, trying to find people who haven't been found and try and organize like these holy orders into whatever functional path they can be done into.
Okay.
He's probably going to work with the guard captain as well, just as a new hand for them.
Okay.
Basically, he's going to make the appearance that, we're absolutely just here for the humanitarian efforts. He's going to be the person that just fulfills that role.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, I see. Just trying to be the don't look at what we're doing kind of guy.
Like, obviously Zep is still doing that, but and the party is going to be looking like they're doing that, but Breton's actually just going to be doing that.
Okay, so we got one group that is helping shifting things, which is Zeb. We've got one group that is actually going to try and find some infiltrators. We've got Sol, who's back in Legarong's land, and we've got Breton, who's going to be playing point defense, essentially, point guard. Continue.
All player does.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So we have James, Zedaar, Darius, probably Valmir, and
Valmir might go with Breton on this one though, as a newfound paladin, and the way he's trying to be more helpful and stuff.
We will put that to Valmir in the week. So basically, is what I'm hearing is we've got three main main groups.
Don't you know you never
split the party. But yes, so anyway, without further ado, we will continue that next week. And all I've got left to do is to thank those who have been here with me tonight. I have been joined by the wonderful Beth Dillingham. I've been joined by DM Lake. I've been joined by Commissar Roach, Lord Lambert, Mordred Viking, Kinda Odder, Ghibli Jam, and I've been Midgeman, and this has been the Component Cast, bringing you the Elendor Chronicles. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye now.